Hey! Bravo. Well done, Marvel. Well done. Finally, an episode that I can sink my teeth into. Good morning, good day, good whatever it is to you. It's a lovely day to sit and talk about all things Blerd related. I am the boy, the real Vince Taylor, joined by the homie, Yas. Ooh, is Yas here? Yeah, what up, Yas? Yas is here. Yes. And we got the homie Ty Briks over here looking like he just woke up. And this, of course, this is, as you all know, the new Blerd order. Let's get into some of this banter as soon as I find this screen that did I upload it? Uh-oh. Yeah, shoot. I don't think I did. Yes, I did. And there it goes. Let's go ahead and do it. Yo, okay, so we actually have, I got y'all in. Hello. We actually have us a good day to discuss the show finally, since we typically start off with our banter about the show that came on the day before. Let us go ahead and get directly into the WandaVision from yesterday. But I ain't gonna lie, I have a real quick off the script question. I'm just curious about real quick. I was about to post this. Man, what is going on? What up, man? All right. Up, man? Welcome back, man. This is a silly question. I probably should pose this to everybody. So I'm gonna open this up to Ty. But Yas, I know y'all do collectibles and all that. Like your mom, you do collectibles big, right?
Oh yeah, Austin, my mom. I have magnets. I have freaking little like Dragon Ball Z little stuffed dolls and stuff like that. And that's just my mom collects those pops and Legos and God knows whatever else. Yeah.
Yo, my sister got me this for Christmas, right? You know, got me like a Star Wars mug. Okay,
that's pretty dope.
Now, she got this for me a while back. Okay. Now, I thought this was so dope of a gift that I was like, yo, I'm not going to open it because it feels to me like collectible, right? Like it's something like keep it in the case. Even though I don't expect to get don't open it. Don't open it.
Not open that.
Because I was just thinking like I've been using my other mug for the longest.
Okay. Only because of the reason of let me see all the pictures again real quick. Can you
Okay, yeah. All right, hold on. Let me bring this up to the screen. You should be able to see
the bigger screen. Yeah, that's a serious collectible right there. You got Han, you got Lando, you got Mando on there. I mean, Bubba on there. You got Chewie, and then you got the freaking the desert people on there. So those are mad collectibles. Do not open that.
Yeah, man, that's what I was thinking.
At some point, are you planning on selling those or something?
No, I wasn't planning on selling it. I just honestly was like, I just think
it's collectibles. Like I'm just so dope. If you never want to see like and really like how when you open some shit when you're not thinking it's a collectible and then later on when you like later see that it's like worth all of this fucking money and like it's a rare item, you know what I'm saying? That's when it really plays into it. That's what makes it collectible. So that's one of the things I would not open because like that's a rare find right there, having all 4 of those cups.
Okay,
but doesn't it only make it a collectible if you're gonna sell it at some point?
Yes and no. Okay, right. So you have to remember it makes it collectible by how many they make. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's only a certain amount of that, that's what makes it a collectible. Like that's why Pokemon cards are so high in demand right now because certain ones you cannot find them anymore unless you bought them years ago when we were kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's why certain collectible items are just like they're so high in prices because like for example, Cabbage Patch dolls. Who the hell would have thought Cabbage Patch dolls would be worth $50,000 on eBay? Check that shit out. The whole collection is literally worth $50,000 on eBay. That's crazy for some dolls. What?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's how many they make. That's what makes it a value item, and they won't tell you how many they make until after the item is completely sold out. That's when it becomes a high quality and high valued item. So that's something to think about with collectibles. It's not about right now, it's about later.
So you think that at some point in time, maybe my mugs will be worth $50,000.
Maybe you never know. I mean, shit, your kids could probably sell it when they, like get to college and shit, and it, you never know, like, or when they're parents, and you never know that could be, because if you think about it, they only made a specific amount of those, and it's the characters. You know what I'm saying? Like those specific characters are classic characters. Those are the original, the OG characters. It's not like they were, they obviously were recasted, but those are the pictures of the OG people. And like, and it's the labeling. It's everything about that makes it a collectible. Like you see in the middle of there, how it has a little Star Wars picture, like of the Stormtrooper. It's everything about that screams collectible. Do not open that.
Okay, hey, listen, I came to the expert. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know.
Sorry. I want to apologize to Vince's sister for because we over here trying to find out how much money we can get for the gift that she gave from her heart.
Not even about him. It's about
you know what I'm saying? So we want to just take a moment to apologize to her for taking the time out of her day to make sure that she can find something for her brother that he can somehow find value in.
Oh my God!
Sarah, thank you, Sarah. It's a big deal, man. Thank you very much, man. It's a big deal.
Thank you for that.
I had for a while.
Listen, she should feel so much better because it's that big of a big deal. He doesn't even want to open that shit.
It's such a big deal. He doesn't even want to keep it. He loves it so much he wants to sell it and give it away.
I did not. I mean, she said not now.
It's not now. Only when it's worth more.
All right. Enough.
I got you.
Yo. Thank you. I mean, you did keep me because I was literally just about to open it today. If Yas if you had said, "Look, man, it's trash," go ahead and open it, I would have opened it right now. But I'm literally.
You think about it, like mugs are collector's item. You know what I'm saying? Like you have classic mugs that they've only made so many out of, and they didn't make any more. You know what I'm saying? Mugs are a big high commodity on collector's items. You got to remember that. Like those little pop things. Like definitely, if you find one that says special edition, and it's like something that you really want, buy that shit, because no lie, they only made a specific amount of those things, and that's why they put those things on there. So people are like, should I pay this much for this right now? Hell yeah, I should, because later on that'll be double or triple that price.
Well, I hope you're right, and I'm going to use this recording as evidence if it doesn't work out that way. I'm freezing, I'm lagging right now, but it's all good because we do have the backup cam just in case. However, I think I should be clearing up. So if you all are anything like me, when Friday comes about, am I lagging that bad? No, okay, I'm back. When Friday comes about, you get a little eager to see what Marvel has to deliver when it comes to the WandaVision universe. Of course, we are deep in WandaVision culture, and I'd love to talk to y'all today about this most previous episode. As of right now, I think we have a little teaser that won't get us kicked off. If so, go ahead and run that teaser right quick in the back. Hey, you're in the back. Go ahead and run that teaser right quick. All right, thank you.
Absolute showstopper. The most unique storytelling yet.
Are you here to help us?
It's taking the Marvel Cinematic Universe places it has never gone before.
Well, that's not an exaggeration.
And there's no going back.
It's full of surprises.
Marvel Studios WandaVision.
All right. I gotta say, as I start to get back from my lag session here, it was clearly, easily the best episode. Why my words don't match my screen? God damn it!
Nah, it doesn't. Not at all.
Not at all. Movies on Netflix.
At all, bro.
It's probably my sister mad because I'm sitting there trying to sell the shit she got.
Yeah.
But yo, clearly, easily the best, hands down episode of WandaVision I have seen yet. Do you agree, Ty? Did you check it out? What's going on, man? What's popping, bro? What's your opinion on the show?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, thank you, Marvel Studios, for color. We appreciate that. We really do. Glad that y'all could join the party. This episode was enlightening. Even though the show's called WandaVision and we really didn't see Wanda at all. But it was pretty. It was definitely a great episode, and definitely a lot of answers were given to questions that we've had throughout the season thus far.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah. Now I know, Yas, you can't wait. How did you feel about the episode?
Oh my God. I was just like in awe of like, okay, so I'm such a nerd that as soon as I heard the like opening scene with Monica Rambeau in it and her say that line that they use in Captain Marvel, you know, like Captain Trouble, I already knew who that little girl was. I was like, oh shit, it's the little girl from Captain Marvel. And Austin and Mike are like looking at me like it is. I'm like, look at her fucking face. That's her, bro. Like that's fucking her as an adult now. And then when they showed her like at the hospital and everything, I was like, oh my God, her mom died. Like I was just like, oh shit, that's super crazy.
And it's also like, first of all, hell yeah, we got what we wanted, which was to see the Scarlet Witch.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm over Wanda right now. All right, Wanda, I love you to death, but Wanda, take a back seat, bring Scarlet Witch to the front. This is who we paid to see, and to see her. Oh my God, am I still lagging? Look, we just got to deal with the lag. All right, that's just how it's gonna go. All right, I'm back in order. When you see Monica get thrust through all those walls, yo, you're like, oh shit! Like what? It's so perfect the way that they literally gave us these cookie crumbles all the way up to this moment, knowing damn well that this episode was coming, because they didn't like give us like a little bitty, entry into this. They started off the episode in the real world. Oh my God, okay, I keep this. They start off the episode in the real world. They start off the episode with Monica Rambeau, and I do have to say that it was somebody on this show who originally hipped us to the possibility that this was Monica Rambeau, and that would be none other than the homie Tyrone, who originally told us that he thought that this was Monica Rambeau. So what's going on, Tyrone? I know you feeling good today, man. What's popping, bro?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling real smug today. I feel like this moment, I've been waiting for this moment now for 4 weeks to just hear you guys heap praise upon this Marvel masterpiece. Not everybody has the foresight that I have, and the amazing ability to kind of see the future that I hold within myself. But I feel powerful this morning. I do. I feel powerful.
All right, calm down, man. Calm down. Man. You over there talking real greasy for a dude who's leaving and staying on the couch.
Did you just soul glow me?
Yes, I did. Hold on.
Soul glowed.
We also have somebody else we want to welcome to the family right here, man. This young lady right here hails from the great city of don't you worry about it, none of your business, because I don't need none of y'all trying to stalk nobody. I want y'all to help me welcome the homie Candace. How you doing, Candace?
Yeah. All right, how are y'all?
Good. No, of course. Well, Candace is new. We won't badger you yet with questions about who you are and how your nerd is and all of that. We're just gonna go ahead and roll right into the convo for the time being. So I don't know if you got a chance to see it, Candace. I know Tyrone did, but we're watching this WandaVision show, which up until this point we have fiercely disagreed about, because it's been from our standpoint trash. We were seeing black and white Dick Van Dyke, June Cleaver episodes before, and then this week we finally get some actual action out of the show that was warranted. And not only just action, we also got plot development and character development. Now, as I stated before, when we first saw this young lady here, we didn't really know what to expect. They tried to call her Geraldine, but it was this man right here on this very broadcast, whatever you want to call it, who was like, you know what? I think that's Monica Rambeau, and I believe that we're going to be exposed to the fact that now, for those of y'all out there, it's like, all right, well, who is Monica Rambeau? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you recall, there was a movie called Captain Marvel. Remember that? And in Captain Marvel, we met this young lady that was Captain Marvel's friend's daughter. Remember this little young lady right here? Okay, so that, ladies and gentlemen, is Monica Rambeau. You may even remember that cutesy little scene where she started to kind of make the colors out of Captain Marvel's suit and started to see how cool it was. Well, little baby girl done grown on up. And now we looking at a grown Miss Marvel who is now facing the fact that she has just woke. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to do something real quick. Let me do this just so everybody knows. If you haven't seen this already, you probably want to go ahead and and either close your eyes or save this for later. So let me go ahead. Spoiler alert, right quick. I didn't hit it with a spoiler alert. Hey, red alert.
Shields up, ready alert.
So Monica Rambeau, bro. So now, not only is Monica from that show, not only is she from this movie, but we know that eventually she ends up being the one and only Captain Marvel herself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what we have just witnessed is a character being introduced into the MCU that has very, very big cinematic appeal, who we likely will see join the Avengers cast. I, for one, now have a completely different perspective about the show, because it's no longer about WandaVision no more. Now it's about Monica. Yes, it is all about this young lady right here. And I don't know if y'all feel the same, but this has made me love this show as opposed to not loving the show before. Ty, I'm interested to hear Ty Leem. I'm interested to hear how you feel about all of this, man. Like, yo, did you get this as it was happening the same way I did, or what was going through your head, man? Like, talk to me, like what happened on the episode this time as opposed to before.
I mean, leading up to this episode, I've had a lot of disappointments. So I kind of went into it with this idea that it wasn't going to be as good as it was, and then I was pleasantly surprised that it was, really as good as it was. So with the way the storyline is now unfolding and everybody knows what's going on and like why things are happening, we now know why the beekeeper appeared as the beekeeper. He wasn't a beekeeper. He was actually just an agent.
Yep.
And it seems as though like certain things that come into Wanda's reality, which that's what I'm calling that whole town situation, is her reality.
Mm-hmm.
Some certain things are distorted. So I don't know if you noticed, because a lot of people know, I haven't really heard anybody say anything about that, but that drone that she has in her hand, did you not notice the colors of the drone?
Yep.
The colors of the drone were the same colors of Captain Marvel's suit.
Yep.
Oh, snap.
You're so right.
Now check this out. I know. That's what I'm here for. But that, like, but look, right, check this out. Now I'm gonna show you something else. When she found that same drone inside of WandaVision's realm or reality, that drone was no longer the color of Captain Marvel's suit. It was red and yellow. Yep. So that's a little bit of a one of those things where maybe that's giving us that Easter egg as far as who is really controlling what's going on in there with Wanda, and that's why it changed red and yellow, because I don't know if you know about villains in Marvel, but there is a villain who happens to have red and yellow, just a little bit of yellow, but more red, and that's Mephisto.
Oh, wow. Did you just draw a line to Ultron?
Yep.
Through this? Like you think that Ultron is our villain in this? Whoa, yo, you're blowing my mind right now. Ty, is that real life? I'm sorry, I'm lagging a little bit. Are you seriously saying? My bad, I'm lagging a whole lot. I'm gonna take myself out the picture here. Are you really saying that? First of all, the drone that we saw is representing something like the original Captain Marvel, and then when it leaves, it's representing new Captain Marvel or Ultron or what exactly? I mean, what is it?
No. No. The colors that it changed to is red and yellow. That's not Ultron, and that's Mephisto.
Mephisto.
Do you know who Mephisto is? The devil? Are you there? Am I in here still?
I got you, Ty.
Yeah, I can see you.
We can still hear you. I don't know who Mephisto is.
I think you broke Vince's brain completely off of like it's done.
Completely.
Yeah. We might just never see Vince again. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Oh, wow. Thank you for joining us.
That's how mind blown he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, can you see me now? I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Mephisto. You was talking about your fist, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mephisto is the devil. He's not the devil, but I mean, in Marvel, he's kind of known as like, you know, the devil. You know what I'm saying? 666 is like his, you know what I mean, his I don't even know what to call it, but insignia or whatever. But Mephisto has the ability to do some of the things that's going on in what was in Wanda's realm.
So what? I mean, all right. Well, yes. Is any of this making sense to you? Do you see Ultron being represented? I mean, is it Ultron, Mephisto? Yeah, Ty's throwing out a whole bunch of theories right now. He just
kind of like blew my mind. I'm not even sure who Mephisto is at this point right now, to be completely honest with you. Like, I think I've seen him before, but like he's not like one of those characters that I'm like, oh, I know who the fuck that is. Like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? But I did see the plane and the colors of it, and I did point that out, and I didn't like catch on that it was Captain Marvel colors though, but I did see the colors and I was like, man, those colors must like signify something. So that's dope as fuck that you caught on to that. But as for the whole like Ultron Mephisto thing, like I gotta look into this because you just like,
yeah, I don't know where I didn't say Ultron, but yeah, Mephisto.
Well, I mean, Ultron is clearly a part of this. I mean, you can't deny the fact that Ultron is. They've already mentioned Ultron. All right. That's why Monica got booted the fuck out, right? I mean, she got the Jazzy Jeff treatment from Uncle Phil when she was like, "Is this how he died from Ultron?" And she was like, "Who are you?" You know, remember that time? And she was like, "No, who are you really?" I think it's time for you to know.
Yeah, she was inquiring about her brother.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So why would they mention Ultron if there's no Ultron to be referred? I mean, if he's not in the picture, number one,
because they only mentioned him because she mentioned her brother, and Monica said, didn't Ultron kill your brother or something like that? It wasn't that they were talking about Ultron. I don't think that there's not a clear point that Ultron has anything to do with this. This is. They only mentioned him because she was referencing the brother, and that's why she mentioned him.
And you know what I just read too? Mephisto comes in when Silver Surfer comes in. Isn't he supposed to be making an appearance too? So like that's when we meet Mephisto. So that would actually make a lot of sense, actually, like Ty, that you said that, because there've been nonstop rumors that like this is gonna give us more of the insight of what happened when the snap happened with Thanos, and more of like, you know, Wanda's story with her brother Pietro, you know, like, and how like, you know, all of that happened with their childhood and how Magneto's their father. So this is gonna be dope. I cannot wait to see the next couple episodes. Like, and y'all were hating on this shit from the start
because it was trash.
Tell them yes.
Candace is watching us gracefully, patiently waiting for us to bring up Harry Potter. I don't know if she's really into WandaVision yet.
I did enjoy it. I know probably the least about Wanda and Vision and Marvel Universe, but I actually really like the first 3 episodes. I like the callback to kind of like this better time where you always get a happy ending. So in my mind, it was like her grief manifesting itself. Okay. And I thought maybe she was controlling the universe that she's in and always wanting like a happy ending.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Spoken so well. You've done this before. Your neighbor there on the screen, is really into this as well, and he's like our serial optimist. Like literally, he loved every Star Wars. He thinks that the Ewok movie was the best of all the Star Wars movies. And like he's just come on, Mr. Ty Sunshine. We're gonna call you from now on, Ty Sunshine. What say you about this episode that we're starting to like a lot?
Well, first of all, I do like most of the Star Wars. Episode 8 can die always, but I just want to say that so nobody attaches that to my name. So this episode was it was amazing. So to Ty's point, and with the Mephisto and Marvel's Devil stuff, they even dropped a few mentions of that in I believe it was episode 2 when they were sitting there and Dottie was having her little meeting, and she was talking to Agnes, and Wanda said, "Oh, the devil's in her," and Agnes goes, "Well, that's not the only place he is." And so they've been dropping this Mephisto thing, and so Ty is right on target with that. I think that's going to be amazing. But yeah, this episode, I didn't expect them to really give us this much this quickly. They gave us a lot.
Yes,
we have been introduced to items and to organizations and to people who are going to expand the Marvel universe like crazy, and it's going to be so fun to watch. Just go ahead and sign Monica Rambeau up for like 10 more movies. I need as much of her as we could possibly get. She is awesome.
Yes, agreed.
Yes,
I don't honestly know whether or not Monica's going to transfer to the MCU, right? Like, I don't know if she's going to.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's no absolutely is. There's no reason. She absolutely is. And people are already saying stuff like, Monica is carrying the show. Like, she's literally like people. I've heard that amongst a lot of different platforms that Monica is the star of the show right now.
She's a secret star. Yes.
Yeah, like she's really driving a lot.
Do you think she's the star of the show right now? I mean, because we already know that the season is only, I think, six. There's only a few more episodes. I think it's only 2 or 3 more episodes. Yeah. So, I mean, as it starts to wind down, do we start to see her become more of the focus, or do we start to, because I get the sense that this is going to end. And it's going to disappoint a lot of folks because we're going to get cliffhangered the fuck out of. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a hella long wait to the next season, and this would just be Marvel's introduction to, the Disney Plus,
the Phase 4, introduction to Phase 4. Yeah,
but I still am a little nervous because there were a few things that happened that were really significant that I'm just going to throw this out there to everybody. Jump on it. What was going on with the fact that, first of all, we saw that Monica, her mom died. All right. We didn't know about that in Endgame. Okay. Nope. Also, that also says that right now, Captain Marvel is somewhere out there. It's not like Captain Marvel died. I mean, she was a part of the reemergence when everybody got, Thanos-apated. And then she came back with everybody. So there's the potential for Captain Marvel to show up in this series if she's going to transfer the powers. And then there's the whole issue of
maybe that was the helicopter.
Maybe
that was the reason for that. Maybe that was the reason for the helicopter. Trying to give you
a few questions. Go ahead, Tyrone.
Oh no, I can answer some of your questions. I can wait till you finish asking them though, because I got some answers for you for sure.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me just throw this last one at you then. Why is it that the people outside the town don't know what's going on inside the town? Like, I understand the people inside the town of Westview. Yeah, I understand why they don't get it. They're under the captive spell of the witch. But the police outside, what the fuck? Like, what keeps them from being able to turn around and be like, yeah, there's some weird shit going on right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is this going on with that?
Yeah. So I'll answer the last question and work backwards. So those police were actually from the town, and they were under that spell. They were, they kind of were out there to meet the FBI and the nosy people that were coming in to kind of ruin Wanda's time. So those police were from Westview, And the thing about what they were saying was that it just was off, because they were saying the town doesn't exist, but they're sitting there standing right in front of it. And when they leave the scene, they go back to the town, and they're let in without any kind of resistance.
Yeah, I noticed that too, Tyrone, actually. Like, I was like, wait a minute, the cops just went back into the town and they didn't even know about the town. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, so they were just out there to keep up the illusion that, you know, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing going on, you know, nothing to see here, move along. They're keeping up that illusion.
But you see why that's problematic, right? Because that means that they can leave whenever they want to, as opposed to what I originally thought, which was that they were stuck in town. So that doesn't explain why the neighbor was sitting there cutting through with his hedge clippers that concrete block. But you know,
I think it means that they can leave whenever Wanda allows them to.
Oh,
yeah. I was just about to say that. I was going to say they can leave when she allows them to.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It's at her discretion. You know what I'm saying? The whole them leaving type thing.
Right.
Okay.
And even the and I picked up on the guy's eyes even looked a little bit weird, like he was bewitched, if you will.
I saw that too. Like he was dazed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. And I know I'm still looking like a Minecraft character. It's all.
And I got to answer on your timeline question too, by the way, because you were like, where does it fit? Or you kind of implied that question, like, where does it fit in the timeline? And this
come on through. Yeah.
This is about they put it about 3 weeks to a month after Endgame, after Hulk's snap. So Hulk snaps people back into existence. So it's around 3 weeks to a month after that, because Monica wakes up and then she ends up going to Sword and, you know, getting caught up on everything. He's catching her up. So a lot has happened, a lot has developed, but it's not very long after Endgame. Right. So as far as the rest of the world is concerned, everybody's just come back. You know, they're just catching up on all the events and stuff. Like Spider-Man Far From Home hasn't happened yet in this timeline. So they're kind of jammed right in that middle part.
Is that? I mean, if I may, I'm going to challenge you on that, and please forgive me because I know my screen is still looking kind of whack, and I'm just going to have to deal with it for now. And thank y'all for working with me. But the problem with that is that she said that Monica's mom died 2 years ago,
right?
And that Monica had disappeared almost 3 years ago,
right?
The Spider-Man timeline happens after Spider-Man comes back, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. So
that would work because the snap was happening when she woke up.
Yeah, and the doctor said you disappeared 3 years ago. No, your mom died 3 years ago, which was 2 years after you disappeared.
That's what she said too.
Yeah. So and Spider-Man comes back 5 years after the blip is what they call it. So that's, you know, he's back at that point and has been back for a while because they've dealt with the death of Tony Stark and the grieving of Dad, and, you know, there's a whole school year that has gone by and that kind of thing. So so the timeline does work the way they established it, and they've been doing a really good job with it. I think the one thing that's going to be interesting to hear is how they deal with the fact that Sword as an organization has existed this entire time.
Right.
Without us seeing it. Yeah. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing to learn and to find out about, you know, because they're not very small. You know, that's a hell of a building. That's a hell of an organization. That's a hell of a staff. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to hear how they kind of, you know, how they kind of explain that a little bit further into the show.
For those who don't know, is Sword in the comics as just kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D. is? I know Sword is a thing. But does it have as much of a, like, I know S.H.I.E.L.D. has its own comic. The Sword have its own comic. I'm not as hip with the popularity of Sword or how it exists in the comic realm.
So Sword, I don't know if Sword has its own comic, but it does exist. It's very present in the comics. And we've actually already seen parts of it in the MCU when at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, Nick Fury is seen in a Skrull ship. If you remember the end credit scene there, he's like in space. He's with some Skrulls. That is kind of where Sword came from in the comics. Like Sword came from an alien presence that came into threaten Earth. Yeah. So they've been kind of giving us pieces of it, But yeah, so it's very present in the comics, and I think it's going to be used to kind of bridge this new this new expansion of the Marvel universe, because if you hear, there was a lot of talk about space even in that short time when they were talking about it. They were talking about having sent people up there already. They were observing sentient weapons. They were responding to sentient weapons. So there's a lot of talk there, and I think Sword's going to be as big of a part as Shield has been, if not bigger.
Yeah,
hey, Ty,
Sword
I don't
was
know. Go ahead, Jeff. Yes.
I was gonna say, your Tyrone was right, because like in the comic book, Sword was like the counter, like the terrorism, but it was like all like interdimensional, like, you know what I'm saying? It was all like space, like that. That's basically what they were for. They were like, the anti, terrorist people for like, people coming into our atmosphere and invading it and stuff like that. That's basically how like it's brought out in the comic book. So that makes a lot of sense, that, you know what I'm saying, like the little Easter eggs that they put into, you know what I'm saying, that show, that was like perfect for that, because that's like giving us more, like details into like how Shield kind of, came out to be, and like why that company is important to us too.
Right. And I also want to just really quickly shout out Jennifer from the comments. She, when you guys were talking about the drones, she mentioned that they're also Iron Man colors. So that could also be kind of a nod to, because I know both Shield and Sword use a lot of Stark tech, and it's very possible that's where that came from. So yeah, wanted to shout out Jennifer. It's another good connection there.
That is true. Now, I was gonna say that I don't know if anybody peeped on Agent Wu's board, on the little blackboard that he was writing his stuff on, that he had a question that said who's doing this, or who is it?
Yeah.
And right next to it, it had the scrolls. It had scrolls. So like,
nice. Okay.
Like he thinks he thinks that maybe the scrolls have something to do with this.
Interesting.
Because we know from Captain Marvel that they had infiltrated society, all over society, and we're doing little things that, so he's questioning if maybe they have something to do with this.
I like that. That's a good point, because I did not catch that. I did, however, catch on his board. If you noticed, they were trying to get an idea of who was all in that town and who they were, where they came from, that kind of thing. And when they were putting people's pictures up on the board, they managed to get their identification, their government IDs by them. So you had driver's license and stuff. The only person who didn't have an ID by their picture outside of Wanda and Vision was Agnes.
Yeah.
Agnes,
So Agnes. Right. So we don't know yet if she is a resident of that town.
She's supposed to be.
No, she's Agatha Harkness.
Yeah, I mean that's. I think they're going there, but like I think that's another one of the hints that they've dropped to let us know, like, hey, this is about to get real crazy.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I'm very, very excited about that. Also, one of the things that I realized about last night's episode was that I think this is the first time that we have established the hero and the villain in the show. The hero being Monica Rambeau and the villain being Wanda herself.
Right.
And I think also the way Vision started to kind of wake up almost, and he's been doing it for a couple episodes, but you can see on Vision's face that he is not aware of what's going on, and is maybe an unwilling participant. And I think that he may end up being the inside man in this situation. And kind of, helping to connect to the outside world. Yeah, and there's a lot of dark stuff happening with Vision in that.
Yeah, did you see like his whole when he died? That shit
died. Yeah,
that shit got. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's what made me believe like it was kind of her making it happen, like it's her reality. He's not really there.
Right.
So I guess like when Monica reveals kind of what happened when she got into that reality, maybe that'll explore like who did it, or is it just Wanda? Is it real? Like what's going on?
Yeah. Well, and I think it also helps to connect to the idea of why we had black and white in the first place. Because if you remember when Thanos killed Vision, and when they show his his dead body in that moment, he loses his color. It's variations of black and white. It's that grayscale.
And not only that, but I can't remember the actress's name, and I freaking love her. The scientist that like discovered, that
Kat Dennings is the actress.
Yeah, she. If you remember, she said, "I need an old TV, not flat." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's some real life.
Pointed that out, like an old TV, not. Yeah. I was dying laughing.
Well,
I was like, she's asking for grandma's TV. Where's it at?
There's actually like a really nerdy scientific explanation for that. And I love that they did that with the show. And it's about to get real nerdy. I'm going to keep it as short as possible. But anyway, so when they were talking about CMBR, that's cosmic like background radiation from like literally the Big Bang or whatever. So if you remember like our old TVs, when we would get in between channels and we would see some static, well, it's generally understood that that part of that static is actually the signals from the Big Bang that we're receiving, as through an analog source. So, and we can't get those on our, on our LED TVs and those kind of things, but we can still get those from an analog TV. And that's why she needed that, because she's, they use that cosmic radiation to kind of decode the signals that were being sent out by whatever Wanda's doing. So they like nod to Marvel for like really getting deep.
Oh yeah. That's some super nerd shit. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to go like, I might never have sex again, but like, cheers. We know.
Hey, you don't know that. There's a lot of hot nerds, bro. You might have sex for that. Okay.
Yeah, we're all my astronomy nerds at. What up?
My baby knows this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to talk about the Big Bang?
Stop.
Oh man. This is funny. Wow.
Yeah, there's I'm so excited. Oh, and also you mentioned Jimmy Woo. I'm so glad they brought that dude into the show. And for anybody who was a fan of like Ant-Man and the Wasp and stuff like that, if you notice, like the second you see this dude on screen, he busted out with a sleight of hand magic, and that was just like a little throwback to his obsession with Paul Rudd's sleight of hand and Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I love when they give us those little moments. You know what I mean?
When he popped up, no lie, I got so excited. I was like, yes, there's going to be some magic trick he's going to get excited for. No lie, I'm not going to lie. My fiance, Austin, and him are so much like. So, and I'll tell you why. Last time we went to Carrabba's, you know how they give you those like little mints when you're leaving, right? They normally give you like 1 or 2, right? This lady, when I went last time, gave us like 5. And I went to like, because I know he likes them, I grabbed them, and I went to give him one, and it literally like slipped out of my hand and like went right into my water dish. And you should have seen this man's face as he's looking at this mint in the water dish, like, should I save it? Those are like gold. Like, oh my God. And like, he was like all upset, you know what I'm saying? Cause he like, I could see him trying to, and I was like, don't even worry about it. I got another one for you. I gave him another one, and I had like 4 more in my pocket. This dude thought I was a magician. He's like, where are you pulling this from? You're a magician, babe. Like, it was hilarious. I literally like walked out of the store, gave him another one. He was like, what? Woman, I'm never gonna like, you're gonna be by my side always. He's like, how do you just keep pulling these things out?
Keep the mints.
It was so funny. And like, we get in the car, and like I left something on the top of the hood, like my food, and I get back out of the car and I grab it and I put 2 more in his lap, and he's like, I swear to God, you're amazing. You're a magician. He called my mom and told her how magical I was.
So is he trapped in your created reality where you can just conjure up after dinner mints whenever you feel like it?
100%. He'd be like, baby, what magic trick you got for me today?
Oh no, I just so you talking about calling your mom made me think of a question that Vince asked earlier about WandaVision. He was talking about how why is it that nobody outside the town knows about what's going on?
Yeah.
And we talked about the cops, but what we didn't mention in that moment was that that Agent Wu talked about calling family members of people who existed in this town and the missing person that got them there in the first place. And when they talked to these family members, nobody even knew they existed.
Right.
So that goes to show just how much is happening to cover this up as far as Wanda's reach over people's realities and, the potential power of Mephisto, if that is, where they're going, which is, very, very likely. And so there's a lot of far reaching stuff that's happening here. This isn't going to be like a little localized thing. This is going to be a lot.
I feel like they're gonna give us like a hell of a fight scene for an ending. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever she like comes out of this reality and whoever the main like, because it says like, you know, all of the teasers, there's gonna be multiple villains. There's not just one specific villain,
right.
Multiple. So I think there's gonna be like some badass showdown, and like it's gonna end us like on a cliffhanger. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of it, and that's where we're gonna be all like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they're gonna draw us back in for season 2. You know what I mean?
Well, not even season 2. Just it's because everything is piggybacking off each other. So right. As soon as we leave out of here, we're going straight to Falcon and Silver.
March.
We're going straight. We're going right from one right into the next. It's gonna be like that. And then in May, we already got a date for Black Widow. You know, FYI, May 7th. It will be streaming on Disney Plus and in the theater.
Whoa! Pay for it on Disney Plus, or is it free?
$30.
Yo, did you just break news? Hold on, first of all, my bad. I had to run to the store right quick, so I appreciate y'all holding it down. By the way, does anybody want a churro? I went in and got my Taco Bell. And fresh fried from
went back, came back,
Captain Marvel's hands. Yeah, man. And thanks for holding me down for a second, guys. I'm sorry about that. And one time for Ty turned into a pseudo host, both of them, man. Ty Lee and Tyro was just like, yo, you know what? I heard the whole thing, man. It was a real good thing that y'all did holding it down. But before I crash again. Ty Lee just broke news. Did you just say that Black Widow is going to be dropping on a streaming service? Did you just say that? Because that's a problem for me at least.
Well,
that actually ties into the next subject. But go ahead, bro.
They're dropping it at some theaters because all theaters haven't been opened yet. So they're doing some theaters and then also on Disney Plus. Now, they say this may change, but as of right now, as it stands, May 7th is the date that it will be available to be streaming on Disney Plus as well for $30.
Black Widow? Like Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson Black Widow?
Mm-hmm.
It's dropping on Disney Plus.
Yes, and Disney and the MCU has stated that there will be no more delays. Meaning regardless of whatever's going on out here and everything, you know, with the situation with coronavirus and everything, we are proceeding with phase 4 because everything is tied in and we cannot, you know, delay movies and delay because then, especially with the TV series being out now, they have promised that there will be no more delays. And yes, you heard it here. Black Widow, May 7th, Disney Plus, and theater near you.
Yo!
I'm literally gonna go and like put on a hazmat suit to watch that shit in real life. No lie.
So you're a moviegoer like me,
yeah. Like, man, you know how bad I've been missing. Like, don't get me wrong. Because of COVID, I'm grateful. I did buy a king size, bed for a couch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Damn, you in full quarantine. I like it.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do it big. I got a ultra 4K curved TV. You know what I'm saying? Like that was Christmas. We bossed up this year. But I miss them recliner leather seats though. With the cup holders. Damn, I miss it so much. I can't wait to get my ass in a movie theater. And if there's nobody gonna be in there, shit, I will hazmat myself up and go wash my clothes when I'm done. Watch.
They got those same chairs. You can buy them and bring them in your house. Like they literally have them.
Austin don't do leather, so that's the only kind of luxury out there. He don't like it. No, my couches are like this special microfiber cloth type stuff. Like you spill shit on it, it wipes up type stuff. Yeah, like I was like, you're so weird. I swear to God. Like he's pre-child our house before we even have kids. It's crazy.
I don't know why you don't just have your mom build you a Lego or like Lego theater seating. I mean, you got a master Lego builder.
Like, shout out to Roddy.
You're like.
That's gonna be her next couch, not mine. I gotta be comfortable. That's why I like my couch has pillows.
Mine's probably watching and building that shit as you speak right now.
What's up, my team?
He's probably building that shit right now.
You're gonna have a whole IMAX theater replica.
Show these guys. Watch this shit.
Yo, Candace, Candace, are you a moviegoer? Are you just like to stay home like Ty and watch everything from the couch?
I'm definitely a moviegoer. I miss it so much. It depends on the situation. I think I could be convinced to go in my hazmat suit, or if somebody has a really good TV, because I do not, I could stay home.
Yeah, man. I'm a big moviegoer. It's nothing like going to the movie, stopping at the dollar store before you get there, loading up on Skittles, getting those Kit Kat, you know what I'm saying?
Just your popcorn, you know.
No, nachos,
on
jalapenos, fresh COVID for the lungs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't beat that, man. What are you talking about, man?
I'll bring the Lysol and everything. I'll spray that shit down.
They wouldn't have started making 80-inch TVs available to the general public if they didn't try to be watching this shit at home.
My father-in-law has one of those. It's 82.
I know he does. Did you not hear what I said? They would not have made these 80-inch TVs available to the general public, because if you remember correctly, there was a time where if you went into Walmart, the most you would see is maybe a 60-inch. Mm-hmm. Now you go into Walmart, they are sitting here advertising 70-inch plus TVs like it's nothing, like it's no tomorrow. So they are really advertising and marketing you going staying home. Just stay home.
Ty, I'm really not even mad at him for buying the 82-inch TV, because he gave me his 72-inch that he had previous to that he bought, when you were allowed to buy those TVs, so that's upstairs in my bedroom. But even it's not the same though. That's all I'm saying. Like I have that luxury because I'm fortunate enough to get that hand-me-down. But it's just, it's not the same, dude. Your house is that's your sanctuary. But when I want to go to the movie theaters and sit and, watch a movie and get in the feels, and wait for them credits to roll, I want to sit in the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? I want to get my ass in a seat that I'm chilling in for a couple hours and just gorging popcorn and enjoying myself. And I'm like, oh shit, did you see that? I just, it's not the same when you're in your own house. You know what I mean? Other people aren't laughing with you. You're laughing with yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can honestly say that if I had saw Black Panther in my house, I probably would not have liked it as much. I saw Black Panther in the movie theater at West Oaks Mall, which is hella black, which meant I was surrounded by dashikis and little kids with snot bubbles. And every time Chadwick Boseman came on the scene, it was a big deal. And I couldn't have it any other way. I'm sorry, Ty, that you are completely stuck to that TV and that Fire Stick. One of these days we're gonna get you out of the house, because it is a great experience to go experience it in the spring. Ty is with the couch screen movement. He's just, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna grow into it.
I mean, bro, I went and spent all of this money. I got the surround sound system. I got
yes, we know. I got
the 3D. Look, I got the 3D projector with the screen. If I want to go and do it that way, bro, I got it. My thing is this. I remember going to the movies. And I remember going to the movie. I remember, look, hold on, time out. I remember horses and carriages. I remember it differently. I remember it differently than y'all. I remember people talking in the movies, people's cell phones going off, all kind of distractions, babies crying, all of that shit.
God.
That's the shit that I remember going
you
to the
going
movies.
to, bro.
I'm just being real. I've gone to the movies multiple times, and there's always somebody in there running their mouth. There's always somebody in there on their phone, or their baby crying, or some shit like that. It always happens. It always happens.
Are you picking a certain time to go? You go at the same time every time or something? Because I never have that.
Ty.
Oh, the tears of
It ain't no
sadness. Yummy, you guys.
Look, I'm cool with being home. Y'all that like going. It's cool. I'm happy for you.
I feel you. Here's what I think. You're Candace. I know Candace said, because we've been at the theater a couple times. We have a group that does the midnight showing of the first showing of the Marvel movie, and it's a sacred time for those viewers. They don't talk. Right. Everybody's quiet. The only thing you hear, you might the moment where in Endgame, where Captain America is holding his shield in one hand and Thor's hammer in the other. And the only time you heard noise in the movie theater was when everybody was cheering in that moment. Like those moments that like you can't reproduce at home. You know what I mean? Like those things, or like when you hear people's sniffles because they're dealing with the death of Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like those are the things you can't really get out of the home theater experience.
Right.
But
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like it's that community. I think.
Yeah, you're right.
When I go to the movie over, like that would be amazing too.
Right. When I go to the movies, it's
I like Netflix and chill.
No, see, when I go to the movies, there's like 5 or 6 of us, maybe up to 10. There's like up to 10 of all my family members. Like we're a group, bro. When we go to the movies, it's a thing. Like,
oh god,
we're gonna fucking sell out that whole fucking row because we want to there, okay, type shit, and we're gonna watch this shit and like be like, yo, did you see that motherfucker?
Can you imagine your time?
It's a serious thing, bro. You need to group up with people and go at the right times, bro.
Can you imagine that?
Well, check this out. In your region, because I just saw this being posted. Theaters are now allowing people to rent out the whole theater.
I'll fucking rent it out.
Like you can, and literally you can get it for like they said like less than $100. So like you could like you know what I mean? Like
I will rent that bitch out, have a party.
I promise you, I'm not making it up. Look it up. For less than $100, the whole theater. Because they're not getting business like that. They're not getting business like they used to.
Yeah, they're showing Miss Doubtfire. They're not showing Marvel movies.
right. They're showing the Lone Ranger. You know what I'm saying? But yo, first of all, the thought of 10 Yaz's in a movie theater is frightening as fuck. Like,
wow.
who shut who up? You know?
Okay, so listen. My mom, me, and my cousin Michelle, we're like the only women. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the rest of them are guys. You know what I'm saying? So like,
my god.
Yeah, like my cousin Michelle has 3 boys. They're all like the youngest one is 13 now. You know what I'm saying? And then like my cousin Christian's my age. The second kid is 23. You know what I'm saying? We're all adults pretty much, except for the 13-year-old. And like we go in like a party. Austin, my fiance.
This is exactly what it would be like to be in the movie theater with Yaz right now.
We're all together. We're all together. Austin and I have been like, he's been going to movie dates with my family for like almost a decade now before we even started dating, bro. Like that's how serious it is. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't get an invite, you ain't fucking cool. That's how it is.
Excuse me.
Oh, all right. You fit. The credits are rolling now. Yes. Now that
I'm just saying.
That's all the preview to the next Marvel movie.
Ben, I didn't know you back then. You know what I'm saying? Ty, I didn't know you. Candace, I didn't know you back then. But don't worry, I'll rent that bitch out and send out a group.
How dope would it be if we could smoke inside that bitch too? That's a whole other subject. Yeah,
guess what? Guess where you can smoke? At home. Guess what you can do at home? Whatever you want. Whatever you want to.
All right. A 420 friendly movie theater is something they should put on the list of things.
That make money.
But let's talk about it real quick. I'm sorry that the WandaVision talk was extended, so I do appreciate you guys holding me down when Thanos and Thor tried to finger snap my internet connection over here. But I did want to at least touch on this because it is a hot topic that happened recently, and I'm hoping that our good friend Tyrone could help us understand this. I don't know if y'all have been paying attention, but as of this week, evidently a lot of folks made a big difference in the stock market by purchasing. Now, I don't want to talk too much because this stuff is kind of boring and it's kind of confusing, but I did at least want to try to understand what exactly is going on, as it feels like something out of the Revenge of the Nerds movie. Let's just see.
When stocks in a struggling video game store go up by almost 800% in 1 week, Wall Street takes notice. Savvy members of a Reddit board buying shares in GameStop shocked experienced traders, according to Stephen Gandel, senior reporter for CBS Money Watch.
By buying it in a group, they've been able to take these short sellers off guard, and they have to then race around and try to find the shares, of which there aren't many. This is an Apple, and that's driven the stock from $4 all the way up to $350.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like it makes sense, but I'm not really a big stock guy. I'm Vince Taylor, not Charles Schwab. Couldn't tell you too much about it, but Tyrone was trying to explain this to me in the text, and I was kind of like, yeah, I get it, But all right, could you just break it down real quick? I don't want to spend too much time here, but this is kind of nerd and blurred related. So what the fuck is going on? Like, did we just buy the stock market? Is GameStop now belong to us, the gamer? What the hell's going on, bro? Just kind of break it down in layman's terms for us idiots.
Yeah, and that'll be easy for me as far as layman's terms, because that's the only way that I know it, because I'm also not like a big stock guru person, so I can only speak in layman's terms here. So basically what's happening is all of the market is essentially inflated, and it's deflated, if you will, just because of what people perceive might happen in the market, which is controlled mostly by a few investment firms, a few people who have the money and the power to do so. What happened over the last week was that a bunch of people got together online and said, hey, if we all do this same thing, we will have that type of power. And they demonstrated that, and it, basically flipped the stock world upside down. In individual terms, what you had a lot of people who use that to get rich. They said, buy a bunch of GameStop stock while it's low, inflate the prices. We're going to get rich real quick. I mean, there's people like you and me that went ahead and made tens of thousands, and some people made millions of dollars real quick off the stock market in one day. But the big picture here is that the stock market can be run by normal people like you and me. If we just organize and get together, we can control more of our economic destiny than we realize we can.
That sounds very Lord of the Ringish. If we just fellowship on the stock. Ty, do you do any stock, man? Are you any?
No, I don't do any stock. The wife is into the stock.
I was.
We lost Vince a little bit. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, we need to invest in.
You know what? I know what's going on, guys.
What is it, Vinny? It's sword.
This morning.
Wanda's
not letting this information out.
Yeah,
she's not having it. He's getting too close.
Vince is the guy that was in witness protection. That's what we're finding out today. That he's the guy that Agent Wu was looking for.
Yep, yeah, we're over here in Eastview and he's in Westview. What's
but no, I haven't actually done any stock. The wife does the stock, but I have been looking more into it now that I've seen what's going on out there. I was aware of what happened with GameStop. Mm-hmm. And I actually think that's going to happen a lot more. We're going to start seeing that's going to be a trend to happen. There's, so pretty much whenever you see something, it's probably going to be like, if you think it's going to pop, then you probably need to jump on it really quick. I think the next really huge investment, to be honest with you, is going to be marijuana, the medical marijuana industry. So because it's already thriving, but I think now that we're under new legislature, I think it's going to be allowed to thrive.
If you're looking to invest kind of classically, then yes. But if you're if you're looking to invest in this new crazy Wild West market, then on Reddit and find out whenever they're going to start buying stock in Beanie Babies and go ahead and just buy up 1,000 shares of Beanie Baby stock and get rich or whatever. That's what happens. They're just like taking all the conventional wisdom and just like flipping it, and it's creating a really crazy power vacuum, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see powerful people get stripped of their power. I'm like the the belt in The Expanse. I'm over here like give the power to the people. Everybody rise up against the. Yeah, that's me over here. I'm just sitting here watching it burn, just laughing.
There's kind of viral video like that. Sorry for interrupting.
No.
There's that kind of viral video going around about that he's like that old guy who's really rich. I don't know if he's like a super named person, but he's like, all these people are working to like take away the power from the rich, and we should all just be working together. And it's kind of like, no, we figured out the game, and everybody can be rich.
Yeah,
it always lands on his head, right? They always find a way to demonize the little guy. I even saw that they started to try to like, quote unquote, take back. Oh my God, I'm so afraid to push any buttons right now because I need to invest in internet stock. Hold on, let me just see what happens. Now, I'll be honest. This seems really fascinating and really boring at the same time. Like I feel like I wanted to talk about it because I was hoping there's some insight to it. But at the end of the day, this has more to do with the stock market than it does with GameStop. I think that the bulk of the attention of this is mainly because GameStop was attached to it. And since it's not really, winning, I don't really care as much anymore because the bubble is starting to pop, So, I mean, look, it's really boring if Yas don't got shit to say about it. We have completely shut Yas up. And
I thought Yas was lagging. I was
I don't know diddly squat about the stock market. And I really if y'all know things, please educate me because I've been trying to dip my toes in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm young, so I want to learn this shit, and be rich young. You know what I'm saying? Not wait till I'm 50 something, 70 years old trying to buy a Corvette and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I tell you what. I prefer now that we know that happened, and I'm hoping that at some point in time when I was when I had got disappeared by Thanos, you and Ty discussed it, and now we got that out the way. But I do want to kind of get back on something that Ty was talking about. Ty was talking about the fact that Black Widow is going to drop on Disney Plus. I'm still in disbelief. Don't get me wrong. I will have to fact check this because, frankly, it will be very disappointing from my standpoint for Marvel to cave because they've been doing such a good job at holding out on releasing their big movies on the big screen and not succumbing to the DC formula, which we know DC is, and HBOMax in cohesion are launching an onslaught of movies and shows to come out that they're expecting to basically own the market with all this. I mean, we got some pretty good stuff on here. We got Suicide Squad, Judas and the Black Messiah, which I'm looking forward to. We talked about Mortal Kombat last week, but yes, Little Things also, that looks pretty cool. Space Jam. It wasn't. It was. Oh, it wasn't. Okay. All right. We'll talk about that later. Dune, I'm looking forward to. I remember Dune growing up with Dune. But the one I think that most folks are really interested in.
Making another Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad, the sequel. Oh, wait a minute. I think that's the sequel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's something it looks like the original, but it doesn't say 2 or anything like that.
Nah,
but they cliffhangered the fuck out of us on that movie.
Yeah, did they? Did it cliffhanger?
Yeah, because they were like, we're going to give you a good movie. And then they were like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
They tried to lead it in the birds of prey.
Oh my god!
Wow, I have to commend you on that. I have to really, because you normally love everything. That's
we're talking about this show. What? Wow!
Oh, hate on Tyrone. Woohoo!
Hey, Tyrone. Now he's gonna go and take his shirt off and whip his back and cover himself in sackcloth.
I have sinned, oh Lord of Optimism. Please forgive me.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, all the rage right now, y'all. I'm sure you've already known that Godzilla vs. King Kong is coming, and it is being released on HBO Max. I ain't gonna lie, I'm low key excited and not excited about this movie at the same time. Wow. I feel like it's one of those movies where we're looking forward to it, but at the end of the day, we've kind of already seen this movie. Godzilla, King Kong, they've been setting this up for the longest, and Skull Island brought us into it. But I think we do have a clip for the upcoming movie. So go ahead, Backroom, run that tape if you would. What's the big deal? Why are we looking so forward to this movie?
Wow.
I mean, we've seen that before.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. Disrespecting the ghost.
I didn't make that. That's not what
you showed that up and then just.
All right, fine. Here's the real thing.
And they're the last one standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
Who bows to who?
Nobody gonna stop for me. Here we go.
Kong bows to no one.
All right. So somebody tell me, why should I really be excited? Did we like Skull Island? Did we like the first two Godzillas? What's going on here?
We're bad.
I don't know. Candace doesn't look impressed.
I'm not a fan.
Well, I mean, I think me and Candace may be on the same page, but the Ty Sunshine click up here on the top half of the screen, good hair and all that up here looking like two light brights.
Like, there we go.
Yeah, y'all might be related, yo. I don't know, man.
We are, man. We are, man.
All right. The Ty click, Ty 2 times 2.
Why,
Ty Lean, like you, I know are big on Godzilla and
absolutely
King Kong. Why am I looking forward to this movie, man? What's the big deal?
Well, I mean, just like the MCU, Godzilla and King Kong are also part of a universe, and in this universe consists of a lot of different monsters. And I grew up on Godzilla. I grew up on King Kong. For those who didn't grow up on it and got the later version, I think in some ways it did I guess the King Kong Skull Island kind of did King Kong a justice. But Godzilla's, I'm not going to sit here and really say that I really liked all of them. I think I liked one of them, and that was probably the last one. So this actually I think will turn out to be a really, really good movie, simply because they did the same thing that you always said you wanted the X-Men to do, which is do origin stories. They did an origin story for Kong. They did an origin story for Godzilla. And now that we have familiarized ourselves with both characters, I think now was the perfect timing to do a King Kong versus Godzilla movie, which from the trailer looks like at some point they're gonna do what I thought they were gonna do, which is join forces and not try to kill each other. You know what I mean? So, it bodes well for the movie.
Candace, you on the other side of the spectrum, like me, are not necessarily as excited. Did you not have that experience growing up? Do you not see the big deal about Godzilla like me? Why are you not interested in this movie? I even got somebody in the comments. Lisa says, nope, not into Godzilla at all. Talk to me, Candace. What's going on?
Yeah, I think I just didn't really get it. I mean, I guess I understand how, this big beast or what is Godzilla's like a lizard type thing, and then King Kong's I get, if you saw that walking out of your window, you'd be freaked out. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I mean, probably the only close to thing I cared about was like Mighty Joe Young, and even that, I don't know why, I just never really got into it.
Mighty Joe Young was dope. Congo was dope.
I like Mighty Joe Young, but
neither one of them have shit on King Kong.
Well, of course not.
Let's be very clear that Mighty Joe Young and they have shit on King Kong. King Kong is no.
He's comparable. He has his blonde sidekick who likes. I mean, I kind of feel like that was comparable.
Yes. Anything to contribute? I mean, you don't look like you got much to say about it either. You're very comfortable over there.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't think I've seen like either of those movies now that I'm thinking about it.
Whoa.
I really am not into the whole what's the point of like them fighting? I just don't get there's I get that they're each individually in their own elements, like they're dope. But why do we gotta how the hell do we gotta bring them together and have them fight? I get it, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's little kids that have a fantasy and they're like, I want to see these two go at it. Let's make a movie, and it just I didn't watch it.
Tyrone, you got any? You look like you.
Yeah, I'm gonna surprise you guys and say that I liked Kong Skull Island. I liked that. I enjoyed that movie very much. I think it was presented like a horror movie, and it was a really fun watch. I liked. I like what they did with the last Godzilla movie. I think they kind of refreshed that franchise in a way that it needed to be refreshed. Mm-hmm. And with this movie coming up, I think they're finally letting it get ridiculous, because it's ridiculous. It's a giant nuclear lizard and a giant mythical ape, and it's all just nonsense. So they're just why not just go full throttle and just get ridiculous with it? it kind of reminds me of like, I don't know if you guys watched Pacific Rim when it came out, but it was just pure fun, pure craziness. They're like, this is just nonsense, so let's have a good time. And I feel like they're going in that direction, and I'm looking forward to just how much fun it's going to be, because, you know, they're not trying to make us believe that this could happen. They're just like, but if it did happen, wouldn't it be cool? Like, that's just the whole feeling of that movie. They're just like, wouldn't it be cool if Godzilla had a big weapon? Or if Kong had a big weapon and he hit Godzilla? It's just a bunch of, like, I imagine that writer's room just being like this right here. Just a bunch of people just being like, hey, what do you think if, like, Kong made a staff and, like, hit Godzilla? And everybody was like, yes, write it. Let's do it. Put it on film. So that's why I'm looking forward to this movie.
But you're definitely right about one thing. It does have Pacific Rim appeal in that it's probably going to be trash. Now I'm just playing. Pacific Rim was good, and I will say that I like the Godzilla reboot. Mm-hmm. I do. I like what they did in the last couple of movies. I think that King Kong doesn't sell me as much as Samuel L. Jackson did when he was in the movie, right? Like, that was worth watching. Like, anything Samuel L. Jackson, I'm with. You know what I'm saying? So with him not being in this, I'm a little
angry, especially angry Samuel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, is there any other kind?
There is actually. Yeah.
There's no such thing as a non-angry Samuel L. Jackson.
No, it has been, and that's why you don't even know about it, because he's not good.
When was Samuel L. Jackson not angry? When he was Godzilla in Django?
Nah, he was angry in that too. He was angry in that. He was angry as fuck.
Right. He was the only time he wasn't angry when he was sitting with the Jedi Council, talking to Yoda about why Anakin couldn't be trained. But even in that, his brow was still filled.
He was mad. So it looked like somebody took his favorite chair. Like, he was not happy in even that moment.
Yeah, his dad looked on his face of disappointment.
Yeah. Like, he won't be trained. You know what I'm saying? So, Die Hard, Unbreakable, Mr. Glass. When have we had a happy-go-lucky? The only one we can think about is him and Bernie Mac when they did that one movie when they were like rock stars or whatever.
But he even got mad in that too. But the movie I'm talking about, he was like a bum who knew how to play. He was like a piano, either the piano or a string instrument. Like, I don't remember the name of the movie, but he
I need you to look this up and relate this.
You can look it up. Look it up. I watch movies. I mean, like, he
was rom-com out there. I didn't even know.
He was like, that's why I just told you. I was like, that's why you don't know the movie, because
it doesn't exist.
It exists, right?
It exists.
It sounds like the minutes with, like, Jamie Foxx right here that you're giving us.
You talking about Jamie Foxx, bro?
Yeah, that wasn't playing in theaters and stuff. That was playing at Ty's home theater. So, and, like,
hey, you're right. It's always playing in Ty's home theater. Always. We always got admission over here.
Well,
we're gonna go down the list. I'm fact checking you right now.
Please do. And I'll say, unfortunately, I forgot. I did the last minute. I forgot to upload. I did have the cast on here, and on the cast call for Godzilla versus King Kong, we have a few names that we recognize. I'm not even going to take the chance to try to upload it now because it's already on here. But some of the names that we recognize are Millie Bobby Brown. Yep. Okay. A good chunk of the cast that was on the original, but the one that stood out to me was Danai Gurira, from who we know from Walking Dead fame as Michonne. It was shown that she's rumored to be in it, but may not actually be in it. But if she is in it, that would make it kind of cool. But at the same time, I'm not. Yeah, I think Lisa's right. Yeah, The Soloist is the movie you're talking about.
That's
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
But anyway, you go ahead and fact check that.
Another movie that I just like, because looking at this up, fact checking on Ty's nonsense he's trying to spit to us right here. The movie Kingsman, he was passive in that movie because he was like that nerd that like had the lisp and shit.
Oh, he didn't like violence. He was happy angry. He was still angry, but he was
angry. And that bitch had to cover up the dead bodies, because he couldn't see that.
That was funny. That was good. That was good. Ty is digging through Google profusely, like he is.
Because I know I've seen it.
Look at that face, yo. Ty is like, nah, motherfucker. I seen Samuel Jackson. He was happy, yo. I swear he was happy, yo. I swear he was happy in the movie. I saw.
Off this list, the only thing I can think of was Jungle Fever.
Jungle Fever. Oh, yeah. Was he happy?
Only movie I can think of off this list of like looking at everyone I'm looking at. This is the only one I can think he's not angry in. Real shit.
Well, maybe you're right. I don't know. But either way, he's not in Godzilla.
You were talking about Soul Man. You was talking about Soul Man.
Yeah, Soul Man. Yeah,
that movie's funny as hell.
Funny you found that movie and not the one that you made up in your head while you're looking through Google. Nah, but it's cool. While you keep looking to redeem yourself from the alternative reality that you live in, where Trump's still president and Bernie and Samuel L. Jackson was happy in a movie.
Right.
I want to kind of leave out of that and move to a subject that we have yet to breach on this show, which is when it comes to nerddom. I think we spoke about this briefly at one point in time. We don't have a definitive version or person that represents absolute all things nerd, right? So as we said, and Ty and I gave a recommendation the other week, there's this movie called Unknown Origins, right? In Unknown Origins, it goes into the details about how just being a quote unquote nerd doesn't mean that you are a monolithic group of folks. So some folks are, say, comic book nerds that read the comics. Some folks are movie comic book nerds that just watch the movies. Some folks just like to collect Pokemon cards and do Digimon. Some folks are video gamers, or some folks are just book readers. So there's a whole plethora of ways to enjoy and just embrace your nerddom. One thing we haven't talked a whole lot about is the world of Harry Potter. Harry Potter is all the rage in some circles, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really do the Harry Potter thing as tough. I watched every single movie. Okay, every movie Harry Potter has come out with, I've watched and I've enjoyed. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because evidently it has been revealed that Harry Potter, the great big juggernaut of a series written by J.K. Rowling, may be coming to the actual HBOMax as well, which I don't know how to feel about, frankly. I'm a little happy. I guess I'm a little confused because I don't know whether or not this is going to survive, especially if it's Harry Potter. But I'm really, really concerned about the fact that Harry Potter, especially the creator, J.K. Rowling, has had some turmoil that she's gemmed up for the franchise over the last few years. Just in case you were unaware, J.K. Rowling here, who actually wrote these series, came under fire for expressing some of her views about maybe not necessarily being pro-trans or pro anything like that. Now, I don't know if you all know about this or not, but I do know that my good friend Candace here is one who has done the Harry Potter thing. Now, if you don't mind, Candace, as our honorary Harry Potter blerd, you say that you are not Gryffindor, not Slytherin, but Ravenclaw. And I, of course, know exactly what that is. I live, eat, breathe, and shit Ravenclaw. But for those in the audience, the couple people watching who may or may not know what that is, could you kind of give us a breakdown on what that means? And is that like in the book? Is that in the movie? Where you get that from?
It's in both in the movie. So it's basically the House of Hogwarts is broken down into 4 houses. You've got Gryffindor, which is where Harry and Hermione and Ron were. Then you've got Ravenclaw, your girl. Then you've got Slytherin and Hufflepuff, which, I mean, I don't know as much about Hufflepuff. I don't know that many people identify as Hufflepuff. I think Tyrone is. But so basically, it's a breakdown of and each house has a different aspects about them that kind of push them into that zone. But like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Sorting Hat. When you first get to Hogwarts, you put it on. It tells you which house you belong in, but you do have an aspect of choice in that as well. So, for instance, Gryffindor is more like courageous and a little self-righteous, if I'm being honest. And Ravenclaw, the best one, is more witty. They are intelligent, quick on their feet. Slytherin is tied to being evil, but really it's being more cunning. And that does, have the ability to take an evil form, but not everybody is is evil in Slytherin. And then Hufflepuff, boring. So we won't go into that.
Yo, hold on. I feel like you just disrespected the house.
I love you. Just kidding. That was a total joke. Sorry. But I think Hufflepuff is more like nice and sweet, and they're kind, and
they're passive.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the breakdown of the houses. I think in general, like if they were to do something more so with Harry Potter, I'd love to see more of the houses get represented, because really Harry Potter focuses all on Harry, which is really in Gryffindor. And then you get the evil side, which is Slytherin. So I'd like to see more of the other ones. And there's also other magical wizarding schools out there. So maybe we could bring that in. So it doesn't all have to be just Harry Potter. There's more schools. There's more territory to navigate there. But I'd also love to see something about Voldemort. I mean, he's supposed to be like the baddest of all bad wizards in the last couple hundred years. So what if you had like a really dark, gritty ascension tale of like how he came into power and how he became so evil?
Oh shit!
Yeah, that would be dope, because we never really got to see that. You're totally right. And like he's disappeared so many times. Where the hell did he go?
Right.
What did he do?
Mm-hmm. And then when he's creating these Horcruxes, like he had to kill people and like split himself in half.
Right.
So I'd like to see something about that. And I think one of the big themes of Harry Potter is like everybody is capable of great good and great evil. So you see Harry struggle with kind of the decisions that he makes to be good or be bad.
Right.
And, he does choose overall to be a positive force. So what made Voldemort go that other way?
Yeah, you're totally right. I would totally love to see that as well. Like I would love J.K. Rowling to kind of like, present that and like kind of touch base on that, because you're totally right. And in all those like when they destroyed the Horcruxes, you see a piece of what I'm saying, his what he went through when he did that too, like what I'm saying, when they destroyed each one of them. So it gave us a little touch of like what was going on with his book. But yeah, it didn't really like outreach on like what happened and how that came into play. So yeah, that would be really cool to see how when he killed these people and trapped them and everything, because like this right here, all of those souls that were encased inside of his wand, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be super dope to touch base on, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Candace, did you read the books?
Yes, I did. I read them. I haven't read them recently, but I mean, I used to stand in line to get the books when I was a kid, dressed head to tail as Hermione. So.
Yes. Oh my God. Why did I not stalk your Facebook and put that on there? Yo, so I mean, like, how does one actually determine who they are? I mean, because these houses sound like zodiac signs. You know what I'm saying? And like, you kind of, you flock to, you gravitate to what it is. So I mean, what makes you a
Ravenclaw?
Oh shoot! She is gonna. I swear, she's gonna like take her magic wand out. That's what my internet's been fucking up all day, because she got it.
I do have a wand, Ben, so maybe go get it. There is a quiz you can take online. I think it's called the Sorting Hat. But you can go on and it basically asks you, I think it's a good like 20 minutes worth of questions. So yeah, it's an official quiz that you can take, and it sorts you based on your personality, based on how you see certain situations and how you would react, and it puts you in the correct house.
All right, I hate to pull this card, but it must be said, Candace, there's no black people in Harry Potter, and that discourages me.
There's one. You got there's a boy. There's a black boy.
Yeah.
Is that how he's known, the black boy in Harry Potter? That doesn't help the cause.
I don't remember his name. He's one of the nerdy kids.
Here we have a problem. Okay, let's explore this right here. Like, why is it
there's at least one, and he hangs out with Luna.
There's at least one.
There's always at least one.
There's always at least one.
Always at least one.
Now, listen. The reason I bring this up is because, in my experience, the things that I tend to gravitate to at some point do incorporate, even if it's just to show you that we know you're gonna say something if we don't. A black person. All right. Let's talk Star Wars. We had Lando Calrissian, right? Let's talk even the reboot. We had Mace Windu. Let's talk Star Trek. We had Uhura. We had we even had a Spock, not Spock, but a Vulcan named Tuvok. We had a black captain. Right now, if you're watching Star Trek Discovery, I won't spoil it because we didn't do the spoiler alert, but you might want to watch that. There's a very prominent black character there as well. Marvel, don't even get me started. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've already spent the last few weeks talking about the different contributions of Marvel and how it's diverse. So I want to say concerned. I'm curious as to the attraction. Like, what brings you to be so into the Harry Potter universe, and what would bring one outside? I mean, Tyrone, maybe you could shed some light on this as well. You know, you being a Dumbledore, or what house are you? What house do you belong to? I don't know.
I am part of the nerdy, boring kind house called Hufflepuff. We are the. I've taken so many quizzes because I want to be a hero and stuff, but it turns out I'm just the nice guy or whatever. All right, that's fine. But yeah, you know, it's that's I liked it. I liked doing it. I liked that it was consistent. I feel like it shows kind of just how much they go into their world building, and I think that's part of the allure of Harry Potter is that it creates such a fantastical world that has so many possibilities, and it does leave out in the main Harry Potter series there is a lack of diversity. With no reservations there. They do get into a little bit more of a diverse idea and a diverse cast in the fantastic. What is it, Candace? The
Fantastic Beasts of Grindelwald, I think.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so that gets more diverse, and hopefully they continue that trend, especially with what you were talking about, Vince, with some of the some of the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling and her lack of inclusivity and the lack of support for marginalized communities. But yeah, this is just my positive view as a Hufflepuff. I mean, I guess I can't say anything negative about anything unless it's DC's Suicide Squad, and even then, I mean, that hurt. Like, that physically hurt me, and I had to recover for a minute. So I appreciate you giving me that time.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, you're the serial optimist. We love that about you. But we did pop that cherry this morning. He finally said something negative. I don't know why Suicide Squad had to be in the crosshairs, but it is what it is, man. But I'm glad that you two Harry Potter folks is here, man, because I am curious about how the Harry Potter universe feels about their founding father, J.K. Rowling. You know, I mean, because she has been getting herself into some shit lately, depending on where you stand politically and all of that. Miss J.K. Rowling is out there expressing her views about how she feels oppressed, I guess, by the trans community, so to speak, depending on how you feel about that. Now, this subject right here could be a difficult one. So let's see if we can get through this without getting canceled. All right, so let's try this. So evidently, the Harry Potter streaming plans are already being sidelined because of some of the views of Miss J.K. Rowling. Now, even though she is the darling of the Harry Potter universe, she has been known to say some controversial things every now and then, of which we can include people who menstruate, which, first of all, this was a response to an event that was meant to be tailored towards people who menstruate. Obviously, I think that what her point was is that there are people who the point of the event was that there are people who menstruate that did not originally come out the womb as quote unquote women. And I think that JK was trying to say, look, people who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for that. There's some people, someone help me out. Wompoon, wombod. And obviously she was trying to make a joke about the fact that women are the ones who menstruate. But the clapback was fierce though. Twitter said, well, wait, so when you get old, you stop being a woman, so I guess that doesn't really make sense. But she didn't stop there. She has more views about the trans community, and she goes forward to say that if sex isn't real, because evidently there are folks who are trying to eradicate the concept of sex being male and female, or at least change it. Well, she's saying if sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of woman globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. It is difficult because this is a very, very, very fine line to walk, because you can tell how you feel, but also offend a lot of other folks who don't feel how you feel. She continues and says, the idea that women like me who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e. to the male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences, is nonsense. Is utter nonsense, she says. And so she ultimately started losing support from folks who did believe that it was offensive. There were people who were even saying stuff like, look, okay, boomer, imagine killing your career and cult following because of hateful discrimination towards others, and thought that Harry Potter books would have taught you better. Oh, wow. They're disappointed, but I understand. Obviously, these folks have bitter feelings about anybody who is speaking ill towards his community. Here's a guy who says, well, I'm a trans man, and you broke my heart again. Harry is ashamed of you. Oh, my goodness. So it gets deep, man. This is not like something small. She's made her position clear, and she doesn't seem to be backing down. And then just one last little post says, I love Harry Potter for a long time, but now I can't look at the books without feeling sick to my stomach. The fact that someone who has such a hand in shaping me into the person I am today would turn against me like this is sickening. I menstruate, and I am not a woman. Woo, man, the clapback is real. Oh my gosh. So I do think that she may be possibly mischaracterized, or maybe she's just being taken out of, I don't want to say taken out of context, but I do think that there are people that believe what she says and agree with what she says. So maybe there is a place for her to have these views, but it's not within her own universe that she's created. She even tried to step back and say, look, I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic, comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female, and I do not believe it is hateful to say so. Guys, this is a weird, I don't want to say weird, but this is an interesting subject to bring up because, I mean, the world is not completely on board yet. This is, we're in a no pun intended, a transitional period in our lives where there are now new voices that have been silenced, so to speak, or at least cornered, are now starting to say, we're not going to take it anymore. And they're literally coming out against Miss J.K. Rowling for expressing what some would say are anti-trans views, but others may characterize as pro-female views. What say you? I throw it open to everybody. How should we go about this? Because there are rumors that J.K. Rowling herself may be ousted from her very own TV show, from a series that she actually created. So how do we address this? Candace, you are our sorry. Well, Tyrone has something to say. But Candace, if you could follow up after Tyrone. I'm sure Tyrone thinks everything is just sunny and peachy and rainbowy. Oh, no intent, no pun. Oh man, I'm gonna get canceled. I didn't mean for that to come out like that. But
no, I felt like I was fine jumping into this because it is a very volatile subject.
Yes,
but I think for me it's pretty simple. And I just want to go ahead and point out that my views come from, I'm a cisgender hetero male, so I'm about as boring as it gets when it comes to this kind of thing. But I think part of what J.K. Rowling's problem is that she thinks that in order for somebody else to have their own freedoms, their own acknowledgement, their own place in society, it takes something from her womanhood or from her experience. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with our culture when it comes to really getting inclusive, is that too many people believe that in order to let somebody else have space, it takes space from you. And there's plenty for everybody. You know what I mean? So there's I feel like the best place for J.K. Rowling to be, if she doesn't want to actively support the trans community, that's her choice, and that's fine. I think where she was wrong was to say that the existence of the trans community, or the idea that sexuality isn't just male female, or that sexuality is an idea that continues to expand based on what we learn and what we know, somehow take something from her. And I get why the trans community would feel betrayed by that, especially because a lot of, how nerd culture is. We all feel it in nerd culture, where we look to these kind of things as a way to find a place, for us, and we find acceptance, we find community where there is not a community in regular everyday life for us. So when a lot of people who maybe felt misunderstood in their lives grabbed on to Harry Potter, and they were like, wow, I feel seen by this universe, or I feel like there might be a spot for me in life because I see this, all of a sudden, maybe there are a bunch of trans Harry Potter fans that, heard her speak about their life experience and just felt betrayed by that. So I think, whether or not she should be removed from the show by the properties that she created, I think that's a whole other issue for me. There's probably legal implications and all that kind of stuff, but I do think she deserves criticism for being insensitive and maybe just not being open to a conversation and open to understanding and maybe learning some more.
Candace, how do you feel about your queen? I mean, can you all move forward without JK at the helm, man? I mean, I don't even know if that's possible.
I definitely think it's possible, just because Harry Potter is such a large world now that I think, she's created the basis that I think now you can take it and create something else from it. I absolutely agree with Tyrone. I think this is a circumstance where she needs to learn better so she can do better. And there's enough space for everyone. And I feel like it's again, to Tyrone's point, she's feeling like something's being taken away from her womanhood when, again, I think if she would just educate herself and take time to kind of be quiet, sit down and learn about what you're saying and the entire group of people that you're kind of ostracizing from this world that you created that has helped so many people like myself in times just with the overall theme. So I think she needs to learn.
Talim, I'm really interested in your stance on this, man.
To be honest, I'm gonna go the opposite way, in the opposite direction. Because I feel like not just in this situation, but just in society and as a whole, it seems like every subject can be breached in conversation, but when you start talking about a person's sexuality, and only in certain categories, because it seems as though you can talk about a person's sexuality whenever they're straight or whenever, but whenever you start getting into transgender, transsexual, gay, lesbian, whatever, it starts to get touchy. And it's like, people are going to have opinions and always have had opinions. I don't think that she's like she's made the comments. I don't think she's hateful in her comments or is trying to be hateful towards people. I think that she is celebrating the fact that she's a woman, and it seems as though, to me, from the outside looking in, now when you celebrate being straight, it's almost like you're attacking another sexuality, because I've seen it happen. I'm not saying that that's me, but I'm just saying that, like, now when you start talking about, you know, in her situation, she's just talking about the fact that, you know, she's this is the way she was raised. This is what she acknowledges, and nothing that she's saying is wrong as far as, you know, what she said. You know, women do menstruate, you know, and the fact that a man decides to be a woman is his choice. That doesn't mean that because that individual decided to be a woman, that the woman who was a woman should feel any less as a woman. Now, I'm not saying that that's the person's fault who decides as a woman. That is definitely something that that individual has, and they have to deal with that. But I don't think she was attacking anybody in her statements. I mean, just what I heard you read. You know, I didn't hear the interview. I didn't see the interview. But just from what I heard you read, I don't see that as attacking. I just see that as make a statement. But because it's such a touchy situation, and because the the LGBTQ, I got it right that time. What else? I'm probably missing something.
Nailed it.
Plus. But I mean, that community, they are always on defense mode. I'm just going to be honest. They are always on defense mode, always looking for a comment, anything to be like, oh, they're attacking us. They're attacking us. Yo. And I just feel like I that's what I feel like. That's me.
Yo, I don't know if that's can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
What say you, Candace, to Ty's views? Now, granted, Ty's a little old school. You know, I don't think that he's, you know, been brought into the progressive movement, so to speak. So, I mean, like, he is from, you know, the era where if you're born with a penis, you're a boy. And even if you change that, you were a boy. You know, if you're born with a, you know,
I don't think you got to go that far, Vince, to preface all of that.
Things are
it's not that serious. I'm not open to understand it. But what I'm telling you is, like you're doing right now, you're literally attacking me in a way with the way you're talking right now, because you're making it seem as though
I'm not attacking you. Are you not? Calm down.
The way you're prefacing. Because when everybody else said their statement, that you didn't say anything, and then when I say you laughed, and then you made it seem as though what I'm saying is absolutely, positively wrong. Left, I'm old school. I don't know. No, I'm just saying that the fact of the matter is, nowadays, people who who speak facts, which the fact is, you're right. Men are born with penises. Women are born with. There's nothing opinionated about that. That's a fact. But because I say that, I'm not progressive, and I don't understand that there are people who identify differently or whatever. That's what I have a problem with, is that type of attack when somebody's just saying a fact. It's nothing wrong with what she said. That she's right. They're like women menstruate. What's wrong with that? But it's always taken as a shot or an attack to that community if it doesn't fall into that way of thinking or whatever it is, the subject matter, whatever it is at that point. And that's all I'm saying.
I do want to jump in and just say, just for the sake of science, because it's not necessarily a fact that every person born with a penis is a man, every woman born with, or every person born with a vagina is a woman. There are many scientific examples throughout history, whether it's in a more socially aware time or not, of a person being born with male genitalia on the outside, but they have ovaries on the inside, and they have to deal with the different hormones that come with that, or they are born with, they're born with testicles inside their body, but they look to be female, or they would be female passing, that kind of thing. So what I think what's happening is as we start to understand more about biology and about our actual bodies and all the different, the different ways that we're born, the different ways that we live, what we're finding is it's not such a binary issue. It's not such a man-woman issue. We have kind of what's kind of statistically more the norm, to use a word that can sometimes be a little bit offensive, but it's more the statistical norm of here's a person who was born with a penis, who has all the reproductive organs of a man, who identifies as a man. That is the typical way of being. But there are plenty of examples of it being otherwise. And I think it's what's happening is because we're starting to learn, and because a lot of us are coming from an era where we didn't understand a lot of it. So we're coming from a place where here's the right way, but now we're learning more as we go. So I think that's where it feels like a tax, because in order for us to understand these new truths and to understand science, because that's the nature of science, is that it changes over time. We have to kind of leave behind some of our old views and kind of change the way that we approach certain things. And I think that's where we are. There are a lot of people who are right in that middle ground of starting to learn and starting to understand. And J.K. Rowling is probably one of those people. Her views may be different in a year or 2 years or 5 years, depending on the conversations that she has, the people that she talks to, depending on, the stuff that she learns. There's a lot there. There's a lot of room there in between the folks who say man and woman is it, and you can be anything you want to be under the sun. There's a lot of room and a lot of space in between there to learn and to grow. So, but I just wanted to. I think it's important to separate our habits and our opinions from scientific fact, because that's where a lot of oppressive language actually starts. Is that here is the fact of the matter right here is what it is, and we all have to start there and go from it. But in reality, that's just kind of what we understand until we find out and learn otherwise.
Well, scientifically speaking, those instances that you're talking about are called genetic abnormalities. So they're not necessarily what scientists would consider to be a typical genetic makeup.
Right.
So like when you speak on these things and you're saying like, science, and like, let's make sure the picture is broad so that people understand the big picture. As a scientist, and this, if you know anything about science, which you speaking on, the fact of the matter is you can, as a scientist, find things to support your hypothesis. Whatever it may be, if you are a researcher, a good enough researcher, you can find things to support whatever it is that you're trying to prove to the science community. So we do know that initially, for a long period of time, there was a male chromosome and a female chromosome, and genetically, you either came out with the Y or you came out with the what is the Z chromosome or whatever it is.
The X, yeah.
But, yeah. So at this point now, we're in a different era where everything is, and I'm not, and again, I want to make sure I say this, because I know there's going to be people that attack. I have no problem with whatever you want to be or whoever you want to be with. Just be clear. That is not for me to be a judge of. I have no problem with that. But what I do want to be clear on is that we did come into an era, whenever that era started, I would say probably like the last 15, maybe 20 years, where it's been a more inclusive society. Now, people who were closeted for so long and had to be, who were attacked and everything like that, are now being able to come to have platforms and be able to come out to the forefront. So with that being said, when you have that type of movement, there are going to be things that assist the movement. So I'm not going to sit here and act as though the new scientific studies and stuff that were done, that found that there were, you know, that now all of a sudden there isn't a, you know, that we found that there aren't, you know, really you're not really a man. You could be this or you could be that. It supports the narrative, and that's why I'm saying, like, we have to be careful as not just individuals, but as the human race, to understand that there are things that perpetuate things, and if we just accept everything that is being rolled out, then we may wind up, you know, just, you know, not going on the right path. So I don't know how to explain that any better than what I said. So go ahead and jump on me, man.
Well, you know, and the thing is, I definitely I understand what you're saying from an argumentative point of view. Like what you're saying makes sense. And a lot of it is philosophy, a lot of it is feeling, a lot of it is experience, and where, like, your life experience. But one of the reasons why I just wanted to interject in that first place was because the science like argument is often used to say, no, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. And when I was bringing that up, it wasn't necessarily because there's there are a few examples here or there, but there's a lot of real good science that is showing that our understanding of even like our chromosomal understanding of the idea that, if you have the Y chromosome, then that's what makes you a man. If you do not have the Y chromosome, that's you're a woman. Even that's starting to be it's starting to be understood even greater. I mean, we're not very far removed from the first genetic sequencing, so we're still learning so much about our humanity and our biology. So there's real science out there that at least opens up the possibility that maybe it's not what we thought it was, or that allows for a better understanding of the possibilities that are out there. Now, I think me personally, like, my personal belief is none of that threatens my sexuality or my manhood. Like nobody living any other lifestyle can make me live a lifestyle that is not something that I choose to live or do live, whether it's my choice or not. So, and I think that's where a lot of the J.K. Rowling stuff happens, is because in saying that somebody else's existence takes something from her existence, that's removing their ability and their place, kind of in the world. And I think as the science catches up, as we start to learn more, I think where we have to start from a place of, okay, I hear you and I see you, and let's start from there and move forward. And that's just my personal opinion. And I don't, and I will say I don't begrudge you yours, and I don't think any less of you because of yours. I just want that to be said, because I'm a Hufflepuff and an optimist and a sunshine guy.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So now I just want, it's all love.
Let me throw this in there real quick. Now in all honesty, I have to say, figuratively and literally, I'm somewhere between Ty and Tyrone. I'm between the two, a tale of two ties. A river between two ties. I personally feel I can embody the sense of somebody who feels that they are not able to be their authentic self outwardly, for fear of being cast aspersion from the public, and that inner self may be somebody that's not the traditional genetic self that they were born, quote unquote, to be, with chromosomes and genetics and DNA and all of that other stuff. So and a part of being in quote unquote a nerd universe is having that experience at some point in time of somebody trying to bully you out of because you are who you are. So I mean, I can identify with that. On the other end of it, like, I also, like, from J.K. Rowling's standpoint, I think that there is. First of all, let me give the disclaimer as well. I believe everybody has a right to be what you want, and I don't think that the definition of what a man or a female or woman should be is defined by society. Is defined by the individual, and and society is composed of individuals. But at the same time, I'm also hearing that there are women that are now starting to feel intimidated and castigated against by some who have entered the trans community that are now embodying the definition of a woman and now are taking their mansplaining with the penis and doing the same thing, but with the vagina to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, could you, I've never experienced it. I don't know what that's like, but I think that there are people that are on JK's side that are like, look, I get it. You feel like a woman. You have now converted to being a woman, but I was born a woman. I naturally bleed as a woman. I give birth as a woman. There are things that as a natural woman, I experience that you in the trans community don't. So we are not the same, even though I do support your right to be what you want to be. And is that, I mean, I don't know. Yes, I don't know if you're anywhere on this spectrum at all.
Can I jump in real quick? Because I think because I got something that I think a lot of, and we've missed in this conversation that I've always believed, and it's whether you're straight, gay, trans, male, female, otherwise, whatever, you can definitely still be an asshole. So no matter who you are and what you identify as and that kind of thing, you can be a complete asshole. And we got to allow some room for, like, because there's some people that might have contacted J.K. Rowling and just been assholes. That's who they are, so definitely just because you are in a marginalized community, that doesn't make you good. Right. That doesn't make you a good person. Like, you can still be a real piece of shit. And that, so we have to allow, so we do have to understand that, like, just because somebody comes from this area doesn't make them the right type of person, just, as a good person, or make them the expert on all things. So yeah, I just wanted to jump in. Not everybody is all good.
Good point. Yes. What say you?
All right. So I just want a disclaimer. I love all people, no matter gender, sex, what you identify as. I'm pro. I just want to say, I feel like we're in the era of everybody has an opinion and they feel like they should voice it. And I feel like that is not necessarily the smartest thing to do, especially in certain times, like the internet. With the way times have changed, we do have a voice, and the internet has been our way of expressing that. And I don't feel like that is always the best thing. Example number one, look at our former president. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you can have your opinions and stuff like that, but it's not always right to voice them in the way that you think is right to voice them. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like with Cara Dune, like, it's just certain things, you just, like, you have to approach them in a way that makes, even though you're not, you know what I'm saying, you have to appear in a way that you are semi open-minded, because we live in a world today where, like you guys said, like, people are evolving. That is where we're at. We are evolving as people, as community, as, a world. We are evolving. And that may not mean that, we are going to only be women and men. It may be that we are women who are women that become men, or vice versa, men that become women. That doesn't make us any less. We are still all human beings. So people have to understand that at the end of the day, I don't put my pants on any differently the way that you do. So with that being said, I just feel like, nobody is right or wrong in this situation. But at the same time, like, there's a time and a place to say certain things. And she just chose the wrong time and place to voice her opinion on certain things, especially being that, yes, she is in a community where us nerds are all different, and we all are, we are unified in this one thing that we love, and that's the fantasy of what could be. And the fact that she is completely just, I don't know, like, she's basically saying, like you guys were stating, like, they're non-existent. She feels that way because they weren't created that way. Like, I get her feelings, but in actual reality, this world is evolving, and if we can evolve with it, then why the hell are you creating magical shit?
Oh, whoa, damn, deep. Okay, Yas Luther King. I see up there.
That's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, we all have opinion, and I feel like, there's a right and wrong place to voice that, and you need to do it properly now. And there's been more than enough examples in today's society that has shown that. Especially if you're a top tier person in Hollywood, you need to watch what you say. Look at Kevin Hart. Okay, Kevin Hart's career and his life took a giant dive because of what? Because of bullshit, because of bad publicity. And it's just like, you have to understand, people are going to talk. That's what we do. Look at going back to our last episode, the Bridgertons. If you've been watching that, what is that show based off of? Gossip. Society's gossip. It has not changed. It has not changed. We just have news. We just have the internet now. We have more ways to bash people and to make them, completely ruin themselves in an instant. People just have to understand that. In 2 seconds, your entire life can change by what you say.
Whoa, yo.
I
didn't know Yas was so deep. Yas is like completely as well.
By the way, wait, before we leave though, I did take the test while we were all talking and everything. All right, just so you know, official nerd, had to see what I was. Okay. By the way, it says I'm exactly like Harry Potter. Okay.
What?
Exactly. Listen to what this thing says. It says, like Harry Potter himself, your allegiance definitely lies with Gryffindor, but Slytherin may be a better fit for you than you originally think. It says your passions for adventure, excitement, and new experiences mean Gryffindor is the perfect place for you. You are fiercely loyal to your closest friends and sometimes even to a fault. The recklessness and optimism of that comes with being in Gryffindor, combined with ambition of Slytherin, will ensure you go far in life. It says your slight capability of Ravenclaw house hints at apprehension of knowledge and wisdom, though they are not priorities to you.
Whoa! Ravenclaw. Are you what you say about Ravenclaw?
I'm slightly compatible with Ravenclaw, even though that those qualities of apprehension of knowledge and wisdom are not priorities to me. Even though they're there, they are not priorities to me. You see how I just sat back and let all y'all talk and then I dropped on y'all's asses. Boom!
Yo, Candace, look at that. You got a roommate for when you finally go out to the dorms.
Let's go, Yas. I love it.
Yo, all right. Well, check it out, man. I ain't gonna lie. Is the debate as for trans and all of that, and whether J.K. Rowling deserves to be in the series. I think Yas hits it on the nail. I think ultimately, it's not at this point, at this stage in life. It's not even what you think; is what you say, is what you project, is what you put out there. J.K. could have had these feelings, and nobody would have known about it. Nobody would have cared about it. Nobody would have said nothing about it. But she felt the need to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? And as a result of her putting it out there, we're now talking about it. So sometimes it's best to just shut your damn mouth. Just keep talking like
I don't need to know what you did Saturday night, okay? No. I don't need to know about it, okay? I don't need to know it was a great girls' night at the house, drinking wine. I don't need to know. I don't care.
And also, J.K. Rowling, get yourself a nice group of people to talk with and have these kind of conversations with. Take this example, because I think this conversation was a good one that should be an example for everybody else in the world.
Yeah, hit up QAnon and all of them, man. They would love.
Wait, somebody cut the feed. Cut the feed.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that it's good to express yourself, but when you have a brand and a market as huge as the Harry Potter cities, which I don't think that she even expected it to be so successful, you do want to be mindful of not only what consequences you could face, but of your audience as well. You're talking about people in your audience. Now, I can tell you right now, we have the new Blerd order. We sit here, we talk about shit, but I'm not going to, listen, I'm a pro-black dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about Black Lives Matter. I'm going to talk about shit that I think is wrong. And if you're outside that wheelhouse, that's cool. But once I start talking down about white folks, and once I start saying, all white folks is bad, and, then I could expect a backlash. I don't feel like that. You know what I'm saying? And that is what happens sometimes. Pro one thing could lead some to believe that it's anti another. So just because, Yas is pro Slytherin doesn't mean she's anti Ravenclaw. I see Candace over there trying to, already.
I'm not pro Slytherin. I'm pro Gryffindor. It just I'm leaning more towards Slytherin. Like I'm in between. They said I'm. This is what the percentage was on this shit. Okay, what? It was 46 on Gryffindor and 20% on Slytherin, 19 on Ravenclaw. And by the way, Tyrone, I got that 12% in that Huff and Puff, bro. I'm a little nice. I'm a little nice, bro.
You couldn't even identify me correctly. You said Huff and Puff. Like this isn't the smoking hour. This is Harry Potter. It's Hufflepuff. You will identify me as my house and respect it.
Blow the house down.
My bad. They're bashing me. I feel insulted right now.
Yeah, but we can Huff and Puff too, baby. Shit.
Yeah, no, but I do support some Huff and Puff though. Yeah, cheers on Huff and Puff.
No, well, I'm learning a lot about Harry Potter, so I'm glad that y'all are putting me on, man. I mean, up until today, I've been more of a Harry Potter fan, you know what I'm saying? That's been more of my thing. But now I can actually get into this. But I think that just to kind of, wrap this up and to start bringing this back to a close, one of the reasons we was talking about Harry Potter in the first place is because they're talking about releasing it on HBOMax. And I think HBOMax is literally trying to lead the way in the streaming service market. And Ty, Liam, if you could help me kind of break this down. We touched on this last week, but as we said earlier, there are a slew of shows, movies, and things that are going to be streamed on HBO Max. I truly believe that HBO Max is trying to regain its place in the streaming service world. As we know, back in the day, HBO, before HBO Max, I mean, just regular home box office, the one that used to come on with the like when the movie I saw everything, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the original Batman, scrambled porn after 1 a.m. Hey, is that a titty? I don't know, but it looked like a titty. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like HBO has been the lead in our lives, and I think that this feels like HBO trying to reemerge as the ultimate streaming, the ultimate service that provides all things entertainment. And I think that they're catapulting off of DC, which leads me to the next question. Is DC right now, in this very moment, running things when it comes to streaming as opposed to Marvel? I want y'all to think about this for a second. DC, look, hold on. DC still has Flash. DC still has Titans. Still has Doom Patrol. DC still has all of its cartoons. Still has a whole network. DC just released Wonder Woman. DC now has Shazam with Black Adam, which we're going to talk about next week. Big deal, huh?
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, sorry, Swamp Thing. I haven't had a chance to see that yet, but I heard the Swamp Thing is killing it. Gotham is on TV. I mean, we can sit here. The list goes on. Meanwhile, our good friends over at Marvel have been ousted to the Nether Realm, and we haven't heard from Luke Cage, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist. I don't even know if should really even be on that list. That's a whole other thing. But I mean, they have lost. We lost Runaways, The Gifted, Legion, all of these shows that at one point in time when we were looking up, we were like, yo, Marvel is everywhere. It's not the case anymore. Even when just hearing that Black Widow is going to be on Netflix, that feels to me like they're following, or not Netflix, but Disney, following in the footsteps of HBO Max, which is dropping all of these different DC movies. So the question is
not for $30, they're not.
Right?
Huh? What?
I said not for $30. They not following HBO Max too well. When you charge it $30 and for your that's $30 on top of your subscription costs.
Wow.
Yeah. HBO Max is giving it to you for your subscription costs. Period.
Oh. So you're saying that they're actually going to release Black Widow and they're going to
they're going to
charge you. Listen. They just dropped a movie, or they just dropped it or it's dropping on Disney Plus. It's an animated Pixar movie called Raja or something like that. The Red Dragon or something. It's an animated cartoon. $30. Pixar.
What? With subscription?
$30.
Mulan was 30 as
They
well.
did that with Mulan, yeah.
Yeah.
And it went horribly.
And
right?
it didn't work. And it didn't work. Nobody fucking paid $30 for that Mulan movie.
I don't know why you guys. I don't know why people keep doubting Marvel, because every time they do, they end up eating their words.
Okay, that's what. Thank you. Tyrone said it. Okay, so DC might be coming out with a lot more stuff. It might be in the limelight right now, but every time Marvel like really gives us stuff, like they give it to us. It's what we want. We're not disappointed in one little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like. I feel like Marvel knows what they're gonna make money in, and they weigh out their options. Okay, like with the whole Jessica Jones, with the Luke Cage, with the Iron Fist, they were like, this is only gonna go but so far, and then we're done. And like we're done because it's wasting money. It's not like they're trying to keep doing like a Back to the Future sequel. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have that ability for that. So that's what I feel like Marvel, they're not gonna waste their time and their energy on little stuff. They gave us a little teaser, yes. If they decide to do something with that, we at least got those backstories down. You know what I'm saying? But like, we're not even on that. We're on to bigger and better shit. The Avengers and all that stuff. Like, that is what's important right now. DC can have their little like side little stuff because it doesn't really matter. Damn. We're bored and we need to be entertained. So DC is allowing us to be entertained. Thank you for HBOMax for helping us with that. But I feel like we really are gearing up and we're ready. We're sitting and waiting for the Marvel movies to drop. DC, we're like, okay, thanks HBO. You know, you're giving us something in the meantime. Appreciate the clutch. You know, it's like when Netflix comes out with a good original movie, we're like, thank you, Netflix.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we only paid $14.99 for it, and we're happy with whatever they give us. But when you paying $14.99 for Disney Plus, and then you got to pay $30 for a movie to watch on there, Disney Plus, you're greedy. You're greedy as fuck. Because no other streaming service, not Hulu, not Prime, nobody's charging $30 fucking for a movie. Nobody.
You're right. But if you're patient, it'll give you the time. It'll come out for free though. And then you can watch it then if you're patient.
This is what this is a temporary kind of adjustment to the COVID era. So what because these studios still need to make money so they can make these movies. So what they're doing is they're giving somebody the option. You can see this now, just like you would in the theaters. You know, if you and your partner went to the theaters, you and your girl went to the theaters or whatever, it would be, you know, what, roughly, let's just say if you walk out of that theater only spending $30, you did good. You're a good budgeter, and you can buy some GameStop stock. Like, congratulations! But like, and I think that's what they're doing. They're saying here for the price of a movie ticket or a couple movie tickets, you can get this thing on the release day and that sort of thing. But Yas is right. If you want to wait until it's just free on the streaming services, you can, and you know you will get to see. Like, I haven't seen Mulan. Or I hadn't seen Mulan until after it became free on Disney.
December 4th when it became free, exactly.
Yeah. So we still have the option, but they're still trying to make their money in the COVID era, and I think that's and I don't think this is going to continue to be the case. I think once we get to a place where going to the theater presents no risk other than what it used to, which is sticking your hand in some nasty sticky stuff that you don't want to think about. Like once that's the only risk, then we won't be in the situation. They won't be releasing stuff on Disney Plus and HBO. It'll be back to the good old days of billion-dollar weekends of Marvel movies.
Top, me and Vince had this same conversation, and I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with you there because I feel like if this becomes big, like say for instance, Black Widow does humongous numbers on stream, like unheard of numbers because everybody's home and they just say bump it. I can't go to the movie. And this is Black Widow. We've been waiting for fucking 2 years for it. You know what I'm saying? Like $30, fuck it. Like you said, if me and my girlfriend had to go, I'd spend $30 anyway. Fuck it, I'll spend it. Yeah. If those numbers get ridiculous, you're looking at the new norm. You will be looking at the new norm. It would because everything in the world is money driven. Yeah. So if they can find a way to profit from this, you can almost book them, Dano. This is going to be the new normal. We're going to see HBOMax. We're going to see Disney Plus, and guess what? We're going to see Netflix. Netflix is going to say, okay, well, shit, we've been giving y'all all this good shit for free. No more. Like, yo, we're going to start charging y'all for some of our Netflix originals.
Well, and you know what? And that you could possibly be right. And in that moment, when that happens, I will look back and I will, wherever you are in that moment, I'll email you, text you, whatever, and I'll be like, you know what, that Ty home theater, that was the way to go. I should have invested early on. I should have got in on the ground.
Buy stock now. Buy stock now while it's low. Stock now.
Hey, don't get me wrong, man. I do enjoy watching a good old movie at the crib like The Next Man, but the blockbusters, man, I could not have seen Black Panther in my house and had the same effect. I could not have seen Endgame and Infinity War. I want to look over here and then have to look over here to see where Captain America threw his shield. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to like just be seeing it in one frame. But at the same time, I get where you're coming from. I do think though that DC is on to something, because like you said, Ty, why are they charging $30? It's starting to become evident to me. I think Tyrone, I think you said something about this earlier. Welcome back, Candace. I think you said that they weren't looking to fuck up the timeline, right? Like you have to bring in, if you don't bring in the Black Widow story right now, obviously because Kevin Feige is smart enough to say, look, here are the movies in this sequence for it to make sense for everybody, right? And the show's included. So the MCU now, whereas say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Luke Cage, it would mention New York. Now it's incremental. Like you have to, like you'll watch an MCU movie and be like, yo, who is this chick? You're like, oh, you didn't watch the WandaVision series. Now they're actually tying in the series with like literal, like really like significant content that you need in order to continue into the movie. So maybe that's why Black Widow has to come out now. Otherwise, nothing else can come after it. Is that what you think? I don't know.
Well, and I think they were also waiting to see how WandaVision would be received, to see if it was feasible to move forward in that way, or if they had to continue to delay. I think once WandaVision premiered and did so successfully to a lot of critical acclaim, and only a few complaints about the black and white. I feel like once they got there, they were like, okay, we could do this. We could actually make this work on the small screen while we need to, and then and keep it all together, keep it lined up, keep the timeline right. Want to shout out to Yas. I think Yas mentioned it earlier. I don't know if that was me, but I think Yas mentioned it earlier. But yeah, that's exactly what they did. I think with the success of WandaVision, they now can say, okay, we don't have to hold back anymore. Like we can start to get our viewers back in this fight, get our viewers back in this timeline, and really have some fun. So yeah, I think that the timeline has a lot to do with the fact that they're going to be releasing Black Widow, on Disney Plus along with limited theatrical releases. However, because it's Black Widow, we are looking at a movie that happened in the past. So they do still have the opportunity to back out and say, we might not want to go too far with this if things don't work out the way they want to.
Point.
Yeah, they're dipping their toes in and testing the water with WandaVision, and we have people like Ty that was like, this is trash with this black and white, you know what I'm saying? And then we have people like Candace over here, where she's watching, she's like, I liked it, it was really cool.
It's a good Candace impression.
I like the twist on it, you know what I mean? And me and Tyrone the optimist with it, you know what I'm saying? Like
everything's great.
I got a little inside information. So the reason that it was the reason it was delayed had absolutely nothing to do with WandaVision or anything else. The reason that Black Widow was actually delayed is because Scarlett Johansson has a clause in her contract that said that the movie could not be. They had like some writing in there that said the movie couldn't be released unless it was released in theaters. And that is why the movie got delayed. But I guess Disney Plus stepped in and was like, hey, we'll give you a couple of, we'll give you a little extra money or whatever. And yeah. We'll give you a little extra money to go ahead and go through with it. But I found that out yesterday that was the real reason that that the movie's been delayed and that they've been holding it back. It was just because Scarlett had that language in her contract that said that it couldn't be put out unless it was put out in theaters.
Damn, Scarlett's over there with the Infinity Gauntlet.
But Marvel, Kevin Feige, all of them have stated that there will be no more delays. That Phase 4 is in complete movement, and it will not stop. And because of the series that are now on Disney Plus and the ones that are coming, they can't stop. So May 7th, Black Widow will be here. Period.
Yo, that is exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time, because it's like you can already see the headlines like Black Widow tanks. Black Widow does not meet up to expectations. Just because when you're in the theater, you just have a magical reception of things. You know what I'm saying? And B.
Listen, if we all are close in the same state, I'm just saying I'm gonna look into renting out this theater, and we're gonna have a little show party.
Less than $100. Less than $100.
It's less than $100, bro. Come on, y'all can all meet up, and we can have like a little 60 minutes of like, what you think is gonna happen?
Hey, look, we can get our sword issue beehive suits.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll be wearing the same Taiki I wore to Black Panther.
Hell yeah.
But don't let Ty fool you, Jazz. I don't think this $100. I think that was an abandoned healthcare building.
I'm not making this up, bro. I'm not making this up, man. I promise you. I promise you.
I got the hookup in the Cobb Theater over here in Daytona. I got the hookup, so I'm
all right. Yo, look, hey, if you can make it pop and COVID is half off instead of being 100% free like it is, then yeah, maybe we can make an event out of it. I'm down, hey. If
I'm looking into it for sure. I got a couple months. I'm looking into it.
Man, we can social distance. We can social distance.
All around.
Yeah, we could. Hey, I was thinking that too, Ty. I was thinking that too. We could live stream. We could live stream from the theater.
There you go. Yeah, from separate theaters. I'll be in my home theater.
Exactly.
I'm just playing. But we could do a watch party for Black Widow if y'all want, man. We could do something like that, man.
No, we could. But Disney Plus has a watch party now. We could watch it on. Literally, we could all watch it on your ticket. You could pay the $30 and we could all watch it. There we go. All right, well, sounds like a plan.
Right, one of your shares of GameStop.
So Vince is gonna be the $30 ticket buyer, and
So since we're going that way, let me go ahead and just throw this up there real quick for my Cash App. Everybody can go ahead and contribute to the movie. We won't be watching it on my dime, but we will be throwing money in the bucket. Hallelujah! Now I just play. Well, check this out. I do think that DC is onto something. I do hope that Black Widow does well. I have a bad feeling that this decision is not going to end up well for Marvel. I hate to say it, but I think Marvel will regret doing this. But I think that if I know Marvel, as smart and as intelligent as their marketing teams are, they have already accepted the failure in advance and have already looked past it. But that means
I have a good feeling. Just want to let you know. I don't know if you figured that, but I have a good feeling about
it. Ty is the main character from the Lego movie. Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
That's my theme song. I like it. Let's do it.
That's what I'm gonna download. I'm gonna put that on there. When we introduce Ty, it's gonna have the background music. Everything is awesome. When you make the mug, put Tyrone's face and put underneath it.
We're gonna have to make you a Lego.
Do a Lego movie. Just make sure you got a lot of black for the eyebrows.
Hair and the beard. Don't worry, I got you.
You gotta represent these eyebrows. Like there's got to be plenty of room on the forehead. Just make sure
you. Tyrone is like half DeBarge, half Homeland villain. I think that DC is going to benefit off of HBO's quest to become number one in streaming again. I do think that HBO is getting this title now of the place that they revive old shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or revive old concepts. Like, they're bringing back, look, we got Tom and Jerry. We got Matrix 4, which if Matrix is released on HBOMax, I will shit on this goddamn podcast dead ass, because that's disrespectful to Neo and Morpheus. I'm just gonna say. I mean, we ain't even gonna talk about that because I'm just gonna leave it there. Wonder Woman, all of these shows that they're bringing back. I mean, if HBO is the comeback kid of series, then why don't they go ahead and bring back some other series? Why not bring back Alf? You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and have Alf recast. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring back something I want to see. I would HBOMax, if you're listening, can we get the Cleveland show back? Yo, like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Can I get my man Cleveland? My name is Cleveland Brown. See. I mean, shoot, bro. There's so many dope shows that y'all can revive. Can we get Huey back? Can we get Riley back?
It's already there. They got it.
You know
They got it.
Reviving shit. What's happening?
Got it.
Can I get my homeboys in outer space back?
Oh shit!
Nah, all right. To throw you off a little bit, but yo, man, if y'all are gonna bring back the shit, then can we get another stink meaner? What's good? What's up with a slick back, bro? I mean, can we get on the same page, HBO? I mean, since you are reviving all these shows, you're the defibrillator of streaming services. What's up, man? I'm just gonna throw this out there before we go. If HBO was listening to you, Tyrone, Candace, Yas, we'll start with you, Tylene. What show would you bring back? I mean, if you had an opportunity, what movie would you maybe bring back or reboot? Shows, anything. What you talk about, man? Talk to me if you could think of any. You know what? All of y'all thinking right now. You know what? I'll take it away from Ty with the mic. Anybody who think of whatever it is, man, just shout something out. You already see where I'm at. What's up? What's up, Candace?
I would redo season 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones because nothing has broken my heart as much as that. So I would require they redo it.
Yes.
Yo, that's a good one. It's funny you mentioned that because Game of Thrones is on the list of shows that they're talking about redoing, yo. So I do think that there is a Game of Thrones remake, but I don't know if they're going to redo the last.
Like everything.
We deserve the last 2 redone.
I got one though. I think that they should put all the money into it, get the original cast, and reboot in living color.
Oh! Wait a minute.
He said,
"Nah, I don't."
Where you at, HBO?
I'm about to say, niggas is almost geriatric. They almost geriatric now. You want to bring them?
Keenan is like 80 years old, man. Like,
yeah, I'm saying you want to bring them back now? Like, oh man.
You had me until you said the original cast. I was like, oh wow, I don't know if we go Jim Carrey.
Or at least use Damon Wayans' son as a replacement for Damon Wayans.
Yeah, I can see a reboot of
the kids. Yeah, they all had kids, so
yep. Yeah, they all have kids that look exactly like them.
I know what I want HBO to reboot.
What you want to reboot, Jazz?
All right, so just because they fucked it up the first time, and I'm not talking about the actual show, I'm talking about in his deal with fucking robbing the shit out of him. I need the Chappelle Show to come back, bro.
Oh, that's a good one.
They fucked up his contract and did not pay him for all of those goddamn them rerunning that shit. I need them to rectify themselves and give me the fucking Chappelle Show and pay that man his fucking homage due, bro.
Whoa, yo. Yas once again on the soapbox.
Yas not.
I co-sign that. And what a big fuck you it would be to Netflix,
right?
To Central,
to
everybody that tried him.
Big fuck you, because that man should be paid fucking homage for that shit. He did comedy for everybody for years, and they didn't pay his ass for it. That's
it's so hard to believe that show only went 2 seasons, Tyrone. It feels like it was like a such a long series.
No, it wasn't.
Like 15 years ago. And it went 2 seasons, bro.
That's it. Yeah.
2 seasons and has more of an impact on our culture than a lot of shows that went double, triple, and quadruple that length. I mean, that's one of the most iconic shows in recent memory. I mean, it did have the 3rd season, but by that time he was gone, and it was just kind of But yeah, but like as far as those iconic Dave Chappelle moments, doesn't get any better than that.
Right.
No.
I want some crack.
Y'all didn't know that. Marvel shit.
Yeah, my name was actually Ricardo before Tyrone Biggums came out, and then they switched my name to Tyrone after Tyrone Biggums. So. No, I'm totally kidding. No, I'm full of shit. Man.
I was about to change your name for real. Yo, Tylene, man, you got anything, man? What's up, man?
Yo, I'm gonna say, since we're talking to HBO, let me bring back 2 of the biggest shows, the most educational shows that HBO has ever had. Let's bring back Taxi Cab Confessions and Real Sex. We gotta have Taxi Cab Confessions and Real Sex. Yo, HBO, y'all sleeping. That was huge. That was huge.
I knew he was going to
I
say
can't
real
with
sex.
him.
Can you imagine real sex in 4K Ultra HD? You can just see all the dimples and the hairs and
every rash.
Yep.
Everything.
Hey, boys and girls, we're gonna talk about diseases.
Yeah, like please don't.
Yo.
I would love, yo. The funny thing about that would be to like you sit there and go from I don't know, watching the Wonder Woman old series, and right next to it is a big thing of dick and balls for real sex. And you're like, I think that real sex could be revamped. I don't think real sex. I think that culture. But like I was telling you, we was talking on the phone about this. Real sex to me back in the day was porn. Like now, looking at it,
dolls, she was getting it with the dolls, bro, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whoa.
Think about it. Real sex was your first introduction into weird stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Like which would have been typically like that would have been considered weird. It would have been considered weird now, but it was definitely considered weird then.
Taboo.
But it was educational in the fact that it showed you that it wasn't all just based on. Well, I mean, yeah, it was real sex, but it was like more of a cultural thing. Yeah, so you would have stuff over in France, you'd be over in China, you'd find out about tantric sex. Like you know what I mean? Like who would have known that just hovering your hand over somebody's body could get them, to go off. Like I don't know, you probably didn't see that episode, but
I'd be doing it free time.
Yeah. Like
I just picture like a teenage Ty just sitting there taking notes on real sex. Just like,
absolutely took notes. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Proud of it.
That was his diary. That was his Bible.
I think that the real sex would be real weird nowadays to be like, today we're talking about COVID sex and the benefits thereof. And like they'd be like, I didn't believe it was a thing, but then I had sex with my husband when he got COVID, and he was like so erect, and it had never been like that. So I actually think that maybe COVID is like providing more sexual energy. And then they like do the whole like, you know what I'm saying? Like real sex they go full circle with it. You know what I'm saying?
The interviews, where they they got to wear the microphone.
Like, how do you bring it in? Do you like just keep a COVID swab around and just when you're ready, you ready, baby?
No, they did drop a new COVID test last week that is an anal swab, so we can just get that right into real sex. That's a segue right there. You just
that was like serious. That's like really for real.
This time I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. There's a new COVID test that
they're gonna be anal fucking swabbing themselves to see if they got COVID, bro.
Yeah, I love it.
People going up there for the anal swab and know they don't have COVID. Like they're going up there just to get a fucking swab in their ass. Like,
yeah, it makes drive-through testing weird, but like it's
what's up? Like, come on.
They're like, okay, please tuck your ankles. This is gonna be a little cold, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Drive-through testing. Oh my god. Yo, all right. I think we're done. I can't take the image now. I can never look at Chick-fil-A drive-thrus the same. Like,
yes, my pleasure.
The organization, man. That's the whole key in that organization. Everyone's got a purpose.
Yeah, man. Everybody's got a purpose, man. Yeah, this has been completely nuts. Well, I mean, look, I'm glad we got to bring back some of those favorites. Hopefully, we can get Dave Chappelle back on. Maybe we can put Dave Chappelle on In Living Color and have him appear on Real Sex.
Maybe we can catch him in Taxi Cab Confessions.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's Taxi Cab Confession. That's sex. That works. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. We've been through a lot this last couple of hours. We've had ups and downs, internet wise, politically wise, and all of that. I'm looking at my screen; it's still froze up here. But yeah, man. Last words, anybody, real quick. I mean, we do recommendations sometimes, but we run a little overtime, so maybe we'll wait for that. We do have somebody in the comments that was talking about Borderland and how they're casting Kevin. What's up, Marvin? How they're casting Kevin Hart. That is a disappointment.
More people are upset with that than anything
what are
right
we
now.
talking about? Borderland what? Is that like
Video
a show?
game.
It's a game. It's a video game.
It's like
I thought so. That's what I thought, but I wasn't quite sure. Really? So that's Kevin's new lane, huh? He's just doing video games,
video game movies, right? Jumanji wasn't really a video game movie, you know. They
no, he does so much, you know, with all his, lawsuit shit. So that's why they're like,
This is how the call went. Somebody called Kevin Hart, and he answered the phone. He said, "I'm in." That's it.
He was like, please,
whatever it is.
I can't. Let's go.
I was thinking about it, and I can't do Kevin Hart as well as some.
Hey, and I don't know if you heard about this news though, but Nicolas Cage is said to be
Ghost Rider.
He is said to be coming back as Ghost Rider, and now look, this is still in works, so they haven't actually inked the deal, but they are in heavy talks with him about coming back to the MCU and making an appearance in the Doctor Strange 2 movie.
All right, I'm okay with an appearance. I'm not okay with the Ghost Rider 3.
So did you guys also see that, like, possibly?
Did you? And you don't like Cage? You didn't like Cage as Ghost Rider?
No. Let me state this correctly and hold that thought, Yas. I want to hear what you was about to say. But let me just be clear. It's not Nick Cage that I didn't like. It's the movie itself. They could have given him a better writing, a better writer. The movies themselves were very bad, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Nick Cage. Face Off, The Rock. I love these movies. Even freaking Leaving Las Vegas. Yo, I like Nick Cage. Did you see The Sorcerer's Apprentice? Like,
the story was weak as fuck for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not Nick Cage as an actor, but if it's going to be the same formula, which they managed to fuck up twice. Like, I actually was like, oh shit, they got a sequel coming out. Maybe this one will be better. And I thought they were going to bring in Braveheart, Dark Knight. Oh shoot! Wait, who's the one that comes from? Yeah, it was. What's his name? Who was the villain?
I thought the original Ghost Rider wasn't that bad, bro. Like, I mean, like you're throwing it to the dog. You really think the first Ghost Rider was that bad?
Okay,
it was pretty bad.
Ty, go back and rewatch it now. I'm just letting you know the story is weak, bro. It's weak. Okay, like I literally tried to watch it like not too long ago with my fiance Austin, and he was like, this story is dumb as fuck. He was like, the character is awesome. He's like, but they ruined it from the comic books, bro. Like they literally made Nicolas Cage look like kind of like a bitch in that movie. Like the whole relationship with his girlfriend and then chasing after her on the highway. Like, he's fucking Ghost Rider, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, exactly. Like it's just a storyline. They left a lot of weakness in his character, and then he became kind of a badass towards the end. So that's where the problem lies. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ghost Rider is full a badass. They could have portrayed that story in a lot better than they did. But start to finish, it was like there was no excitement out of it all. The only excitement we got was at the ending when he like finally was like whipping it around and like killing all the demons and stuff like that. But other than that, it wasn't like my panties are getting wet because he's such a badass. It was just like, oh,
well, he has his body count in this episode.
Is that really where we're going?
Is that
the criteria for a Marvel movie? Your panties have to be wet.
Listen, when you watch an action-packed movie like that, and it's got a male character as being the main, being a woman, okay, and like the whole point in watching this is for him to be badass. You know what I'm saying? Like he just wasn't. Like, he wasn't no Jon Snow, you know what I'm saying? Trekking through the forest, trying to kill some dead people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the illusion. They didn't get, it's dead. It's like that girl that you've been dying to have sex with and she just laid there the whole time. Where's the excitement, bro? You know what I'm saying? There's just, it's stale. There was nothing there that was like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't excited. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is the most salacious episode we've had yet. We've had anal COVID tests.
Once real sex came up, it just went off the rails. Like we have completely become.
Hey man.
But not to belabor this too much, but I think that Ghost Rider goes in the same box of Elektra, Daredevil, those movies that we kind of just try to forget that Marvel ever made. You know what I'm saying? You know, it just didn't. It just and with such a badass like Johnny Blaze, bro.
I know.
It's a shame that Nick Cage's character was portrayed better in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series by Robbie Reyes. Robbie Reyes' character was the Ghost Rider I wanted to see on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? So if they do a collabo like that, then that'd be dope. But if they're trying to kind of force, you know, I think that there should be a Robbie Reyes, Johnny Blaze mashup to go forward.
I think ultimately you have to, because you got Nicolas Cage, who's what, 50 something, 60 years old. I don't know how old he is, but he's old. So I mean, anything that if you put him on the big screen, you're probably putting them there to like pass the torch. That's what you would assume. Like you definitely don't think they're bringing Nicolas Cage in for like a 3 or 4 movie deal for, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I would think they're probably just going to bring him in, and maybe Robbie Reyes is cast as the new Ghost Rider. Because he did definitely
like how they kind of passed the torch off to him in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like that.
Yeah.
Well, because think about it. Doctor Strange 2 is the inside the
multiverse.
Multiverse of madness. So you're talking about different dimensions being so that you could have possibly different Ghost Riders.
Yeah.
So you might have the Ghost Rider from one dimension go to another dimension and meet the younger Ghost Rider, and then kind of, you know, bring him into the
how they did in Spider-Man in the multiverse with
absolutely
like that.
Yeah. And to build off that as we start to wrap up, that actually would go well with the theme.
Yeah,
this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe passing the torch. We've got Captain America passing the torch to the Falcon. Even though originally it's supposed to go from Bucky then to the Falcon, but it is what it is. We've got Captain Marvel passing the torch to Monica Rambeau. We've got the potential for, as we've been speaking about since the very beginning, a Tobey Maguire and an Andrew Garfield linking up with Tom Holland so that they can all connect in this in the Spider Universe. So there's a whole bunch of torch passing. We don't forget about with Ironheart, we got the potential for RDJ, for Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, to pass the torch down to Riri Williams. So there's a lot of torch passing going along. So
I wonder if Pepper's going to take over for Tony.
Well, yeah. Oh my God, yo, that thing you posted, that suit. Oh my
rescue
God,
armor,
like and that him though. That was
right. So, but not only that, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think that Pepper's going to take over. I think that that his daughter was set up.
Maybe
start to take that mantle.
Oh yeah.
It may be through.
Tony's coming back. Ain't nobody taking no mantle. Tony is coming back. Tony's ego is like,
well, maybe
ain't nobody know better than me.
Maybe his father somehow resurrects him or something. You know what I'm saying? Because he's got that.
Tony's coming back. Tony's coming back to the MCU. We do not want to see. Come on, we don't want to see a different Iron Man. We don't. We don't.
Like I said, maybe his daughter resurrects him. He's got that power source. I mean, he's human and bionic. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we don't know.
This is about to be a cliffhanger.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. This is a whole other 2 hours worth of banter right here, talking about Tony Stark. But yeah, I think that if we do see Tony Stark again in a role that is relevant, it will be like as a ghost, kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like he's not going to be like he's going to be like the voice in her ear. Use the Force.
He's going to be the
in the multiverse.
I'm telling you, life model decoys, man. Life model decoys.
LMDs. Now we're doing LMDs.
Yep.
No, but seriously, couldn't we go to another dimension and find another identical version of Tony?
Depending on where you go,
and add that storyline and say, look, you know, like Strange went to another universe. That Tony is a different Tony, but the same Tony.
So you're talking about like kind of like in Star Trek where they did the lady who was in another universe. She was a Terran, and then she gets sucked into this universe, and she's over here. I mean, I see something like that. But I don't know, man.
I mean, what if they turn him into Jarvis? What if he's the new Jarvis?
Oof, man. Listen, there's a whole bunch to unpack. I say we talk about the potential for that next week. In addition to a couple other things, like we haven't even gotten into The real implications of Black Widow being, because that was just broken today thanks to Ty. So good looking out for that, man. Let's talk about that and a whole bunch of other things. And next week we may or may not. This Bridgerton thing has still got me fascinated, but I'm not going to waste. I'm not going to open.
Still have yet to watch it, huh?
Oh, look, Candace woke up. Like, oh, Bridgerton, hold on, I belong to that house too.
Absolutely.
Well, real quick before we go, man, I just want to say big up to the homie Candace. Y'all, come on, help me thank Candace for joining us today. Nice break. Thank you for educating us on all things Harry Potter.
Yes, thank you for educating us on our houses.
Anytime.
Yes, please. We hope you'll come back and join us again. Talim, the ever optimist, Tyrone. Sorry.
I'm about to say. I'm slithering over here, buddy. Slithering.
Opposite. Like Talim is like the dark side of Tyrone. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, man.
Like good and bad.
I'm the bad boy version. Hey, Ty, what you said? I'm the good guy. I'm the bad guy.
Yes, we got a real Professor X Magneto thing going on right here.
Yeah,
I'm digging it.
That's it. If Ty were bad, this is what he'd be.
With long hair and everything.
After this, and as for the main cast, thank y'all. Obviously, as always, for holding me down, especially today when when the internet gods were not in my favor.
Man. Don't call us co-host for nothing.
Yeah.
Don't call us co-host for nothing.
That won't talk about. All right, y'all, sit tight. Don't go too far. And let me just say to everybody out there who has been watching or who may watch this in the past or who may watch this in the future, appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you check out the clips, like, share, comment, all of that. But most importantly, be yourself amongst those others. Be you and they'll adjust. But most importantly, please, if you can, let that geek flag fly.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief, only Ken and Ra 2. I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and the uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Yeah, them niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I wear.